biggest event of the offseason. Franchise-changing picks.
Green Bay Packers select Aaron Rodgers, quarterback to California.
League-shaking moves.
The Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
The Green Bay Packers select
We can finally say it. We can finally say it. We've been waiting all week. It's draft day for the Green Bay Packers. Woo! Finally, draft day for the Green Bay Packers. ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week across ESPN Wisconsin, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, and on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison, and of course, on the year anniversary of the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Oh!
We missed that anniversary earlier this week. Now, if something is a year old, can you still call it new?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So is it still the new ESPN Wisconsin app?
Yeah, I would do that, yes. So one thing I learned with branding when we launched the award-winning 1017 The Truth, for about the first 2 years, for sure, we used to say the new 1017 The Truth because it's new to a lot of people, right? So then when we're talking about the new ESPN Wisconsin app, some people might say, oh, it's new, and it gets people to want to be more intrigued about what's different. Now, once you get to year 3, now you just say the impeccable, the incredible, the great, the fantastic, the user-friendly.
So we got time.
Yeah, you got a whole another year. The brand new, because it's still new. Is a baby still new?
That's kind of what I was getting at.
It's still pooping itself.
If a baby, so are you implying that the ESPN Wisconsin app is still pooping itself?
Not this one. Maybe the old one, not this one.
That's true. Great point by you. Ding, ding, ding. Kind of an inside joke, but I enjoyed it. The all-new ESPN Wisconsin app. So when baby Isla, Ben's daughter, when she was a year old, was Ben still referring to her as new?
Yeah, my baby.
I'm in his seat, so that's why I figured I'd ask.
My new child, my newborn. Maybe not.
Yeah, I guess everything's. But if a dog is a year old, is it a new dog? It's still a puppy.
Yeah, it is still a puppy. A 1-year-old's still a puppy.
So a 1-year-old app is still a brand new app.
It's still a puppy.
All right, 2.5 minutes of promotion. The ESPN Wisconsin app. If you haven't downloaded it yet, what are you doing? You're doing it wrong. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app. All of our content on demand all the time, including our video streams, our podcasts. If you miss any of the show, you can get that on the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app. All right, it is officially draft day for the Green Bay Packers. Pick 52 and 84 tonight in the second and third round, respectively. We will get into what we want to see the Packers do at those picks in a bit. But I'm curious for you, Kyle. Last night, round 1.
Yeah.
I, of course, watched it. I was sitting in this chair as we did ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night with John Anderson, Brian Balaga, Mark Tauscher, and Jason Wilde. It was fine. It really changes the vibe when you don't have a first-round pick, huh?
Yeah, it's actually different. And me actually taking a gander and watching it, it wasn't refreshing because I wish we had a first-round pick. It was just me now just taking it all in. Because before, usually when you have your team that's drafting, you are just waiting for that moment. So every other pick before your pick is agonizing. You're thinking, hurry up. Let's get through this. Let's see who's going to fall on the board. But this year was so different because even me doing my little research this year, all the top-end guys, I'm not really looking at these top-end guys like that because these aren't guys that are actually going to be Green Bay Packers. The Packers did not have the ammo in order to move up in the first round. So watching yesterday, I learned more about the storylines, right? Like I was following that, actually listening to the young men, talk. By the way, Gen Z, I love Jesus, but they love Jesus. I'll tell you that right now. But it just was cool to be able to follow more of the storylines, watching the highlights.
That was your takeaway?
Bro, everybody was praising the Lord as they should if they are a believer or whoever you pray to, or if you don't believe. But I'm just saying, it seems like everybody was doing that. And just in listening to the different mindset, like the kid from Miami, Bane, who he does have short arms. He looks disproportionate. I don't know if you know that or not, but he only has like 30-inch long arms where normal NFL players like 33 or longer. It looked disproportionate, but he was standing on business. Makai Lemon, or I think that's how you say his last name, like standing on business. Like I enjoy seeing that. So it's very different when you don't have a first-round pick because now you're just watching for entertainment. You're watching for storylines. Typically, I'm watching for my own selfishness of waiting to see when the Packers pick, or are we going to trade up? What are we going to do? Yesterday, I was just watching TV, man. Just watching TV, and it was cool.
It was cool.
I enjoyed it. Did you end up watching?
Well, I had it on in here.
So I guess you were working.
But no volume, so I didn't get to learn about all the storylines like you did. Yeah, I didn't have a ton of takeaways. It was fun to see another team take the Packers quarterback approach, though.
Yeah.
Which you don't often see in the National Football League, because for years and years, I feel like pundits and commentators have been saying, well, everybody should do what the Packers are doing. They have a Hall of Fame great quarterback, but they should draft their next guy to sit behind him for a few years. And finally, a team with a Hall of Fame quarterback seemingly did that, with the Los Angeles Rams selecting Ty Simpson, 13th overall last night, the quarterback out of Alabama. Matthew Stafford, is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Could it be 3 years? I know there's rumors that he could be signing a contract extension with only 1 year left. I don't think it's 3 like the Packers did with Favre and Rodgers, respectively, but they are going to have at least a year, maybe 2, with Ty Simpson sitting behind him and effectively being the heir to the Rams quarterback throne. And to be real frank, if there's a team I trust copying the Packers quarterback style, it's Les Snead, it's Sean McVay, it's the Los Angeles Rams, a team that seemingly is always in the mix in the NFC.
And that's the exact reason why, out of all the teams that do it this way, this was the one I was most concerned about. Because think about it. I mean, again, it's very different with Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins just had signed with Atlanta. But the Atlanta Falcons ain't the L.A. Rams, and the L.A. Rams have found a way to win a Super Bowl and rebuild. They found their way to get back to an NFC championship game only a couple years after not winning a Super Bowl. So when I look at the Rams doing that, it makes me be nervous because they are in the Eastern Conference as well.
Yeah. I hear you on that.
It's the Eastern Conference.
I know.
I got the NBA up here that I'm looking at.
And we'll probably get to the NBA at some point. Obviously, new Bucks head coach Taylor Jenkins hired yesterday on day 1 of the NFL draft. We're going to be primarily Packers focused today, but I do have a few thoughts on the Taylor Jenkins hire,
baby,
that I want to get to. Love that movie, by the way.
Johnny
Thanks for
Manziel.
saying that. Hey, speaking of that song, of course, by Drake, who the Packers posted earlier this week in a...
sure did.
Did you see who was... I don't know if he was in the facility yesterday, but they posted a picture of Matt LaFleur in a suit with a rapper. Did you see what they posted?
Was it him and Lil Wayne or something?
It was.
Yeah, Lil Wayne.
Was Lil Wayne in the facility last night?
I would assume so. Maybe he was just up in Green Bay.
Well, they didn't have a whole lot else going on.
Maybe he used to drive the cornerback.
What are you doing
Louisiana, Louisiana. You don't know how Lil Wayne talk?
Well, no, I do, but why are you making fun of him?
My boy. I've been a fan of Lil Wayne before you were born.
That's
damn
my
near
boy.
legit.
That's my boy.
That's crazy. You are so young.
Yeah.
You were born 98?
Yeah.
Wow. Just
That's it?
No, I'm just thinking about the Hot Boys, and when I was listening to Lil Wayne back in the day when he was 16 years old, and I think it was like when you were born.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Crazy.
Sorry, man. You're getting up there.
I guess
just don't pull a homer and fall asleep in the middle of the show on me. Like he says, he can fall asleep at any time.
Did he? Oh, well, hopefully tonight he doesn't fall asleep.
No, I don't think he will. I think he's going to be locked and loaded tonight. ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night. Homer and myself, along with Jason Wilde, will have you covered beginning at 6 o'clock tonight until the end of the third round across these very stations and on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison. So any other grand takeaways from night 1 of the draft, or are you just ready to get things started for the Green Bay Packers?
I'm just ready to get things started for the Green Bay Packers, but I would say this as well. Is one of the grand takeaways I have is somebody, again, we weren't going to get the high-end prospects. Yesterday when you were watching the NFL draft, if you were a Packers fan, you were excited that there was a big run on offensive linemen. Why? Yes, I understand the Packers could get some reinforcements on the offensive line. But when you see more offensive tackles taken, that means that other positions that the Packers need are going to be available. And we knew there weren't like a lot of high-end cornerbacks in this draft, but we knew there were going to be some that were late first round, second round, third round guys. Seeing that, I don't think a single cornerback, if a cornerback went off the board yesterday. And so for a Packer fan like myself, I'm excited because that means there's a plethora of them when it comes to today in a position of need for the Green Bay Packers. So that's a good thing. There's still a lot of edge guys available, defensive tackles. And so yesterday, if you are watching the draft, you are excited when you see all these positions that the Packers need not getting drafted. It doesn't mean these guys aren't good. It just means they're not first-round pick good. Some guys slipped through. So I am actually very excited for how the board shook out. And for me, I'm looking at Gutey. Listen, if Gutey decides to trade back a little bit because he has that many guys on the board that he wants, I wouldn't even be mad about that.
I got to be honest with you. I think that's ultimately what ends up happening. I don't think the Packers make a pick at 52.
Really?
Only 8 picks, which, again, and I explained this a little bit earlier if you were with us on Mr. Irrelevant. This sounds like an odd statement to make. There's 6 rounds remaining in the NFL draft. The Packers have 8 picks. Simple math tells you that's more than 1 pick per round. But if you're a Packers fan like you and I are, Kyle, and you've been paying attention to the draft long enough, not even just with Gutey, but with Ted Thompson as well, but especially with Gutey, 8 picks in the final 6 rounds does not seem like a lot. 8 picks in an NFL draft does not seem like a lot under Brian Gutekunst. We know how much he loves and values his draft picks. So would I be shocked, given the way the board fell? Only 2 cornerbacks went in the first round.
Yep, only 2.
There's plenty of good cornerbacks still available here today. If you look at Mel Kiper's top 20 available, I believe it's 5 of them are corners, 4 of them are edge rushers. So very good chance that the Packers could have somebody or multiple guys they really like available at 52 if they move back a few slots. If somebody's interested and maybe they acquire an extra 6th-round pick, that's right. That's speaking Gutey's love language.
You know, it is speaking Gutey's love language. And so, again, I look at this and the way the board shook out, it ended up being perfect for the Packers because there's going to be a guy that they're going to be able to draft that can contribute right away for them, right? Is there going to be some guys that are going to have some potential in the second round? Yeah. There are going to be some guys that maybe had good years before and then they're falling off? Yeah, potentially. But there is going to be a guy where they're going to be able to pick somebody that can contribute to this roster coming to 2026 season, which is the most vital thing when you're trying to build the championship roster.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Kyle Wallace and Alex Strouf with you. It's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week on ESPN Wisconsin. Talking picks 52 and 84 tonight for the Green Bay Packers in the second and third round. No first-round pick this year. No first-round pick next year.
Strouf, so you know how a lot of these folks, when they get drafted, they got their ladies next to them?
Yeah.
Would you have your lady front and center like that on the couch with you?
Well, it depends
At
on
21.
Well, I was going to say it depends on the depth of the relationship. Is that like your high school sweetheart?
Come on
Are you engaged? Are you married?
Come on.
Have you
now.
been together for 6 months?
Bro, you getting drafted in the first round? Very few, unless you from Utah. You ain't. This ain't your future wife, or if it is your future wife, I mean, most of them are not. Most of them are a moment in time.
I think that's probably a fair evaluation. What's on the TV behind me that made you ask me that?
Well, I just saw somebody, these guys getting drafted and they got their ladies next to them.
Well, I saw there was one last night. I don't remember which player it was, but Mama was kind of blocking out.
Yes, she should. Yes, she should. Black mama.
Girl, yeah.
Yeah, you don't know how these black mamas is.
And the girlfriend was kind of just reaching over the mom and doing the leg tap to her boyfriend.
Yeah, that's what they want, the attention. That's what they want. Like, let me tell you something I learned about these. I know some folks who've been around before in the pro sports. And let me tell you something. Everybody loves to be around famous people. They do.
Yeah, that's
men
fair.
and women. Heck,
yeah, totally.
I'm sure if I was around, some famous people, I'd be chasing them too.
But here's the thing: you're not sitting on the couch with him if you've only been together for a week.
You're sitting on the couch with him. You've been together for a couple months.
I don't want to project. I don't want to guess on the depth of each relationship. But you know me, I'm a lover boy. So in the total fantasy land that I get drafted, right? This would never actually happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only thing you get drafted is the war, but they wouldn't want you.
I think
you'd be the first.
Did they change the age on that, or am I good?
You are.
I think I'm good.
27.
I'm 27.
Yeah, I think it goes up to 27 or to 26.
I think it's 26. I think I'm good.
I'll look it up, but they wouldn't want you. They would literally draft you, and they would literally say, "What are we gonna do with this one?"
That's a fair point.
They'll send you back.
But if I got drafted, and I don't think we'd be celebrating the same way that some of these NFL players are because they're making multi-million dollars, especially in the first round. I don't know what my couch setup would be.
Oh, it'd be family.
Now, here's the thing. A lot of these parents seem like they're still together, right? So my parents very much not together.
I mean, they'd be all right. They'd be able to sit, one
on each side.
Yeah,
I have a brother. I have a fiance.
Yeah. It's my family. I mean, your fiance would
clearly you've thought of this more than I have. What would your couch setup be?
Oh, my couch setup would be me, my mama next to me, my dad, my brother, my aunties, and my cousins on the outside, and then probably my other aunties around as well, or standing up behind me, uncle. Like I would definitely.
You're getting married in 3 months.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I am. No, I'm not getting married in 3 months. I'm getting married in 2 months.
Oh yeah, you're right. Where's your fiance in this situation? Non-existent.
I'm 35, non-existent. You think at 21, 22, 23, Kyle Wallace is bringing some woman to be on the couch when I'm about to have a camera next to me? Are you kidding me? Or I'm just going to be in the draft day? Baby, I'm about to get drafted. Do you know what that means? I'm about to get drafted. I'm about to have all these people in my DMs. No, absolutely not. I see how these cats get down. No. I tell Lil' Cuz, Lil' Cuz, don't love him right now. No, ain't the time. No, they want you for one thing. It ain't your looks. It ain't your personality. It's your status. Don't fall for that trap. So you don't know what it is to have a jersey chaser, huh?
No. Neither do you.
At Whitewater, we had jersey chasers. Thank you very much.
You played 3 snaps.
If you play, no. It doesn't matter how many snaps you play. It matters that you're around them. You're on the team. It means something.
You know, I was really looking forward to today.
Oh, dude, what?
I'm not going to say I'm not. No,
okay,
you're fine. I'm going to add to that.
Okay.
Because it's draft day. I'm with my fellow Packer backer. We're talking draft.
Yeah.
But despite working with you every day for 3 hours, I always forget the life lessons that come along with working with Kyle Wallace.
Oh, yeah, I'm full of them.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I got him. I can really help you.
So more life lessons, 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. If you have any questions that Kyle Wallace can philosophize, would that be the right word there? Feel free to call in, text in, and ask. I'm sure Kyle's open to evaluating your life situation. But also, we're going to ask the question coming up next: do you trust Brian Gutekunst to draft an instant impact player without a first-round pick this weekend in the NFL draft? An immediate impact player. Do you trust Brian Gutekunst to check that box for the 2026 Green Bay Packers this weekend? We dive into that coming up next. It's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week right here on ESPN Wisconsin.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
What to do at 52? That is the question, and we'll all find out together what Green Bay does. Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Strouf. ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night coming up this Friday. Join me, Steve the Homer Strouf, and Jason Wilde as we take in whatever Green Bay does in the second and third round of the draft on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night, beginning at 6 o'clock on Friday, right here on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. No better place to find out who's up next than ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night this Friday. Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Strouf. A couple of months ago, I knew one thing for sure. I had the girl. What I didn't know was what came next. Luckily, a friend of mine told me about the team at Robert Hack Diamonds and the job they do, getting you from knowing you have the girl to down on one knee. I had never been through this process before buying an engagement ring. I had an idea of what she wanted. She'd sent me pictures of some hints and some ideas, but I wanted it to be special and different, and that's where Robert Hack Diamonds came in. They created my fiance's dream ring, and it made that moment, that much more special. So if you, like me, know you've got the girl but don't really know what comes next, go see the team at Robert Hack Diamonds. 3 locations in the Milwaukee area, 1 in Greenfield, where I went, and 2 in Brookfield, north and south. Their custom jewelry is made on site, lab-grown options, natural diamond options, and all the in-betweens. Stop in today or visit them online, roberthackdiamonds.com. That's Robert Hack, H-A-A-C-K, diamonds.com. And after you get that yes, like me, you'll say, heck yeah, thanks to Robert Hack Diamonds.
When storms hit or accidents happen, it's not just about property, it's about people. I'm Mandy Grimal-Lococo with Grimal & Associates Insurance. We help families bundle home, auto, and life coverage so you're never facing life's what-ifs alone. With the heavy rains we've seen in Milwaukee, we'll review your policy to be sure water backup, sump pump failures, and flood risks don't drain your wallet. Your home is more than walls and a roof, it's where life happens. At Grimal & Associates Insurance in Shorewood, we're here to protect your home, your family, and your peace of mind. Call us today at 414-332-0838.
You've always been competitive at work, in the gym, even with your kids. But lately you feel off. Workouts take longer to recover from. Your drive just isn't there. You know, it might not be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Mentality, we'll get to the bottom of what's really going on and build a personalized plan using testosterone replacement and peptide therapies to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. Get back the energy to being dad again. Book your appointment with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Again, that's lowtusa.com.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? It's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walney Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walney Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at WalneyLegal.com.
When Milwaukee families need help, the United Way is there, reducing barriers to employment, providing transportation, safe and stable homes, and more for over 192,000 people.
And this month, Cunis is proud to stand beside them. Hi, I'm Bill Eater with Cunis of Milwaukee.
And I am Tony Avery with the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County. During the Cunis Drives Milwaukee 1000 event, they're donating $100 to the United Way for every vehicle sold.
Our goal this month is simple: 1,000 vehicles across 3 Cunis Milwaukee dealerships.
For a $100,000 donation to the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County,
To help us reach our goal, you'll find incredible deals on all new and pre-owned vehicles at our 3 locations in Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Hope Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall.
Be a part of Driving Milwaukee Forward at the Gudekunst Drives Milwaukee 1000 event.
Start your search today at CunisMKE.com. That's CunisMKE.com.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week continues. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace hanging with you until 5 o'clock this afternoon on ESPN Milwaukee, 4 o'clock on ESPN Madison. Our buddy C-Cat running the show for us today. I have some news to break to you.
What is that?
So over on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, Jalen chimes in. Any Ganon sightings? Or is he the first ghost coaching in the NFL?
Oh, hey, he has PR issues like Fernando Mendoza, so they probably want to keep the camera away from him.
So last night on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night, you would have gotten this exclusive scoop.
Oh.
Jason Wilde joined us from Lambeau Field.
Oh, yes. I heard him ask a question of Gutey.
Yes. What a useless press conference that was, by the way.
6 minutes of nothing, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. And he joined the show and he said, hey, so I was going to the media dining and they closed food early, so I'm going to be cranky because I'm not eating. And then he said, I had to go to my old office to pick some stuff up to bring it to my new office. And as I was walking to my new office, I passed and got a hello from
JG?
Jonathan Ganon.
Ooh!
So Jason Wilde has confirmed that Jonathan Ganon is indeed employed by the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, that's not the confirmation I want. I want him to say, did he say, hey, I want to get you on the show?
No. To my understanding, I don't think they really made friends.
Oh, so he just said hello, as in he just said, hi, like walking past a random stranger. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was just like, hey, how you doing?
Good.
But he was there.
I mean, duh. We know he's employed.
We don't know that.
Oh, we do know he's.
We
employed.
haven't seen him in Wisconsin.
We do know he's employed. I mean, listen. Let me just be honest. I get where Jason's coming from, and I definitely agree when it comes to a perspective of a journalist of wanting to be able to talk to the defensive coordinator to find out information about what this defense is going to look like, because you have a whole fan base that is thirsty and has a desire to want to know exactly what we're going to be looking at. When you look at the draft for tonight for the Packers and moving forward, what could they be targeting in the draft to fit the potential scheme of the defense? But see, I like to just read in between the lines. We know what Jonathan Ganon is as a defensive coordinator, and I don't think it's by surprise that we literally added 2 players that had ties to Jonathan Ganon. So that would tell me that, A, obviously Jonathan Ganon is the defensive coordinator, and B, that there's going to be a little bit of a transition of trying to identify guys that can fit the scheme of Jonathan Ganon. And the Packers did something, just to me, very different by actually going out and acquiring guys that have a relationship with Jonathan Ganon. A matter of fact, when we signed our defensive tackle, for some reason, Javon Hargrave's name was escaping me for a second, they said they text. Like, he said he would text Javon Hargrave throughout the year, and like they would text. So like that's what I like to hear. So even though we have not heard from Jonathan Ganon quite yet, it's coming eventually. It's good to know like there is a great conversation behind closed doors happening to develop a defense that fits the scheme he wants to play. And that's why when we're talking about corner, I'm looking for guys who know how to play zone defense, right? Eyes at the quarterback, having that feel to be able to drop back in the zone.
800-990-3776. That is the Carbless talk in text line. Liz is more with Carbless. Discussing this question now on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. Kyle, I did an exercise a couple months ago. You may remember this. I called them PIPs, Playoff Impact Performers.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
So now I'm going to call them IPs, IIPs, Immediate Impact Players.
Okay.
When we look at the NFL draft. Now, obviously, Gudekunst has not been super consistent in terms of first-round draft picks. Most of them haven't contributed much at all in their rookie seasons. When you think of the Matthew Goldens and the Jordan Morgans and the even the Jordan Loves of the world, of course, fall into that category. Guys that didn't contribute a ton in their rookie seasons. Lucas Van Ness, another name you could probably bring up. No first-round pick this year for the Packers. Their first pick tonight at pick 52, at least as it's scheduled right now. They will also have a third-round pick at pick 84 tonight. Do you trust Brian Gutekunst in this draft, in the 2026 NFL draft, to draft an immediate impact player, which the Packers roster could certainly use one or more of this upcoming season?
Y'all keep asking me the same question in a different way, and I'm going to continue to give you the same response. When I look at Gutey's draft history, the first round, bad. The second round of late has been very, very good. Matter of fact, most of his second-round picks have been better than not. Even with Josh Myers being a second-round pick, though he did not get a second contract and he had some of his inconsistencies, he still was a starter for the Packers. So, yes, I do trust that Gutey's going to be able to draft in the second round and find a player that can contribute instantly for the Packers. So I'm actually very excited about today because it looks like for me is he's drafting a lot of guys who have actual production on the field that immediately has translated for the Green Bay Packers in a positive way, especially when you talk about the two guys 2 years ago. Ooh, they were both dogs. And even though Edgerrin Cooper didn't have a great season last year, I think we're going to see an uptick of seeing more of what we saw year one with Edge. And Javon Bullard continues to get better and better and better.
Let's go through Brian Gutekunst's second-round picks. And you have a pen and a paper in front of you?
I actually do.
Let's just go 1 or 0, good or bad, however you want to look at it.
Okay,
right?
We can go good or bad.
Okay, so let's start with his first ever second-round pick.
Josh Jackson.
That's an easy answer, isn't it?
I thought he was good, though.
Not so good. Played in 49 games.
He was great, and Kyle had like 7 picks in 1 year.
Yeah, he had 0 in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to 2019. Elton Jenkins was his second-round pick.
Really good.
Let's go to 2020. His second-round pick, not so good. A.J. Dillon.
A.J. Dillon was not so good. He had his little moments, but he never caught on.
2021, Josh Myers.
Josh Myers was good. I'll give him that. He started for you.
2022, Christian Watson.
Good.
2023, he made 2 for second-round picks. Luke Musgrave. The answer's pretty clear, Kyle.
I mean, he's not good. He's just average.
Put him on the not good side.
Not good.
And then Jaden Reed he had a good rookie year.
Yep, good.
And then 2024, 2 for second-round picks. Edgerrin Cooper. Javon Bullard. And finally, last year's second-round pick was Anthony Belton.
He started as a rookie, so I'll put him good.
He started out of need, necessity.
Need and necessity, but he was better than everybody else that they already had on the roster. And my thing about Anthony Belton, I never said he wasn't talented when we drafted him. I just felt like, A, he wasn't going to be a tackle in the NFL, and B, I felt like he got drafted high. I felt like it was a reach.
I felt both of those things in the moment as well, but ultimately it was a pick they needed. In fact, if you look at immediate impact players from last year's draft class, as we are at the 1-year anniversary of day one of the NFL draft in Green Bay last year, Anthony Belton was the MVP of the Packers rookies last year.
By default, by the fact that nobody else was able to shine.
I mean, Matthew Golden got limited opportunity outside of that playoff game.
Yeah.
Savion Williams obviously battled some injuries, only played in 12 games, but again, limited opportunity. Anthony Belton played in a lot of games. He played in 14 games. Mm-hmm. And he was the only immediate impact player, but that was not the intention with Anthony Belton. So I bring that up for 2 reasons, Kyle. Number one, you look at the Packers roster, they're getting older, they're getting more mature, and their top-of-the-line guys are, for the most part, solidified outside of the cornerback position.
Yeah.
You know who your starting defensive ends will be once Micah Parsons returns.
Mid-late 20s guys.
You know who your middle guys will be in the defensive line. You know who your top 5 is at offensive line.
Yep.
So when it comes to Brian Gutekunst drafting an immediate impact player tonight in the second or third round, there are only limited positions groups where a guy can be an immediate impact player.
There sure are.
And when you look at last year's draft, similar situation, nobody was an immediate impact player until there was a necessity to be an immediate impact player.
But
the only reason Anthony Belton made an impact was because, thankfully, he didn't fall flat on his face when given limited opportunity at right guard.
Well, if we're talking overall second round versus overall draft, then maybe you have an argument. But when I think about it, though, is that you actually needed some guys, especially on the defensive line. You had options. I mean, you got down to, Nazir Stackhouse, right? Undrafted guy. Warren Brinson, late drafted guy. Like, yes, what you were down to, putting them into the system, running them through, where you were signing guys off other teams' practice squads. So there were opportunities for certain guys to try to shine, but nobody took the bull by the horn and actually shined. And so I do think there's going to be opportunities this year, just like there were opportunities last year, just not enough people were ready to step up. Not saying that draft class is a wash, but last year it was not good enough. So when I look to this draft here, there are a lot of opportunities for guys. Yes, we may look at the defensive line and see a lot of bodies, and you may see Lucas Van Ness. Lucas Van Ness has never been a full-time starter in the NFL. He's never been a full-time starter. So you cannot sit here, and he was passed up by a guy in Kingsley Enagbare who wasn't a first-round pick.
Right.
And so when I'm looking at this draft here, you can find a guy in the second round that's an edge that can actually beat out Lucas Van Ness and be better than him. You can look at the defensive tackle, and again, I think Devontae Wyatt is very good, but when you talk about Hargrave. He's not going to be here too long, and if you're able to draft somebody who's a defensive tackle that can give you good reps and be a defensive tackle of the future, then that is good. They can find a way to get onto the field and be part of those reps. We already know what the cornerback position is. Even on the offensive line, though we talked about Anthony Belton, though we talked about, I'm pretty sure Aaron Banks is going to be fine there, and we also talked about George Morgan. When I look at the two young guys on that offensive line, yes, are they going to get every opportunity to start? Yes, but if something goes wrong, right, injury, knock on wood, or if they aren't performing well, maybe there could be a guy that can draft in the second round at offensive line that is better than the guy that you have. The NFL is all about competition. Where you got drafted gives you more opportunities, but it's about how hard you work and how good you are and if you can play in the NFL. And the Packers have an opportunity tonight, regardless of almost any position. Hell, even at wide receiver or tight end, you can draft a tight end in the second round and find a guy that can get out there and get you 40 catches right away year one, even though you have Tucker Kraft. So the second round is so important where you can get high-end talent, even though it's not first-round talent.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace with you. I do want to dive into the tight end position at some point.
Really? Do you feel like it needs to be retooled a little bit?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, you got to.
And I feel like it's one that's flying under the radar amongst Packers fans because I think we're so focused naturally, and it's the biggest hole. I think that's why we're so focused on it as the cornerback position. But I think you look at defensive line, you look at offensive line, every team always needs more guys in the trenches. That's just the rule of the NFL, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you always need more offensive or defensive tackles. You always need more edge rushers. You always need more interior offensive linemen. Everybody always needs them. I would imagine the Packers very well could double dip at either of those positions throughout the course of this weekend. Cornerback, though, is a significant need given the lack of depth, one, and two, they don't really have a guy there. They've got Valentine, they've got Nixon.
Don't say that too loud, because if Keyshawn Nixon here, you're going to be on ass.
What do you mean?
He might come for you.
Does he do that? Okay, interesting thing to throw out there. But Nixon and Valentine, and then obviously your guy who you're all jacked up about for no reason, and Benjamin St. Juice.
The number one zone coverage corner in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus last year.
Yeah. So I'm just curious to see what they do at some other positions, because with only 8 picks, if you double dip at corner, you double dip at offensive line, that's already half your picks. And you still got to address the defensive line. You still got to address maybe receiver, maybe tight end, maybe running back, maybe quarterback in the later rounds. You only have so many picks, so I'm very, very curious to see what they do at that tight end position, which I want to get into coming up next. Also want to get to your phone calls. Do you trust Brian Gutekunst to draft an immediate impact player in rounds 2 and 3 tonight? Somebody that can come out week 1, maybe start, maybe play significant snaps, come out and play, make an impact. We will dive into that more with your phone calls coming up next on the Cardinals Talk and Text line. 800-990-3776. 800-990-ESPN is your way into ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week with Alex Strouf and Kyle Wallace. We continue right after this.
More coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this. And Summit Credit Union's got you.
Get out of the house this summer and head to Road America, conveniently located between Madison, Milwaukee, and Green Bay. This legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course has been hosting the world's best racers since 1955. Bring the whole family. Kids 16 and under get in free with a paying adult at the gate. You can camp on site, explore the grounds, and take in the racing your way. It's more than just a race, it's a full experience. IndyCar is the must-see race coming June 18th through the 21st. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets at RoadAmerica.com.
I'm not against shopping online. In fact, you can check out our huge selection at BurkhartSportingGoods.com. But when you're ready to buy, Burkhart should be your only stop. Because here, you can grab hold of the Midwest's largest selection of baseball bats, gloves, and equipment, and take all the swings you need in our indoor batting cages to make sure you buy the right bat. And when you buy your new mitt, we'll steam and custom fit it for you right on the spot. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhart. If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service, you can't beat Burkhart.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
According to American writer H.L. Mencken, a well-stocked bar can create over 17 billion different cocktails. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. I don't know if 17 billion is accurate or not, but I do know that Discount Liquor is the place to find everything you need to be well-stocked for any occasion. Discount Liquor is Wisconsin's home to over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,500 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines. Our unparalleled selection is rivaled only by our incredible savings and everyday low prices. And we know how to take care of our customers, no matter the occasion. In fact, Discount Liquor has won numerous national and local awards. Visit Discount Liquor at our Milwaukee or Waukesha locations. Family owned and operated since 1960.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
In Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow. Check out our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Yeah, it's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. Rolling on right here on ESPN Wisconsin. I'm Alex Strouf alongside my buddy Kyle Wallace. See Cat running the show for us.
I'm noticing, Strouf, you are easily distracted.
What do you mean?
So I look out. I have a beautiful view here at our One Call That's All Gruber Law Office studio at the 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee, and I see people walk by, and I just look up, and I notice sometimes when I look at people, you turn and see what I'm looking at.
I do have ADHD. That's a subconscious thing. I don't even know I'm doing it.
Oh, wow, yeah. I look, you look. There's a wonderful family sitting here.
Well, here's the thing with you.
Yeah?
Is you are incredibly bad at not wearing your emotions on your face.
Oh, wow.
So if you're thinking something's up or something's awry, you make a strange face. So for me to look after you make a strange face, I think would be completely normal. And maybe you're used to Ben Bruss sitting here, so maybe he's just used to the outgoingness of your features and what you do with your face. But Kyle, have you heard the phrase RBF? Don't say what it stands for.
Whoa, I don't have that.
No, I'm making the exact opposite case for you.
Okay, yeah.
You have unbelievably emotive face. If somebody walks by, it looks like the Queen of England just walked by your face.
Yeah.
So I don't think you get to call me easily distracted until you look in a mirror.
Now, typically, I will say this, though, is that I don't get too distracted when I'm actually speaking. But the fact that I looked up and I must have had the crazy look on my face, and you turned and looked mid-sentence while you were talking, and you turned back and talked to me, I was like, damn, this kid is easily distracted.
I was multitasking, it sounds like. If I continued the conversation, I was not distracted.
No, well, I mean, you turned your head and looked, or maybe you're just nosy. I do know you to be a little nosy.
I am nosy. Oh, wait, you a little nosy? Baby, I am nosy.
Don't call me baby, nah.
I'm not calling you baby.
I don't know who you directed it at me.
You've never yelled at Homer before.
Oh, well, the way he says it is different.
800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Less is more with Carbless. Maybe you've learned this about me throughout the years of listening to me work with Kyle on a daily basis in the afternoons. Sometimes I just have to ignore him.
Why would you ignore me?
Because sometimes you just say things that don't deserve to be responded to.
Like what? You call me baby?
I didn't call you baby.
Yes, you said.
I was a frame of speech. I said, baby, I am nosy.
Oh, well, we were having a conversation, and so I thought you were saying baby.
I'd like to end this conversation. Now let's go to Athens, Georgia. I meant to say Georgia, then I said Atlanta. It's Athens, Georgia. Our buddy RJ is on the Carbless Talk and Text line, calling in about the NFL draft tonight. What's up, RJ? You're on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
Happy Friday, gentlemen. Happy Friday.
Indeed.
So, yeah, indeed. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what you guys say pretty much every day when you talk about the Packers these past, at least this past year. I would say the past few years. You say it, but then you don't say it. You allude to it, and that is we have a talented team with some very talented, skilled positions, but it seems as though from Brian Gutekunst on down to the rest of the staff, the head coach, the position coaches, we seem to be doing a terrible job at managing these positions. You want to take offensive line and mismanagement that was done at the offensive line. You want to take the situation with Matthew Golden. He's not going to run all of the routes correctly in his first year as a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. But when you have a talent like that and you don't put him on the field so that he can learn from those mistakes, then you get what we got. I could go on in in other positions, but to me it seems that you guys are not talking enough about how the Packers have mismanaged not only the draft picks, not only Gudekunst, but the rest of the staff, especially the head coach, mismanaged positions, and put us in position to game after game after game, especially last year.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Matthew Golden and last year specific, RJ. I think all of those are fair critiques, and one I don't think Matt LaFleur has hidden from, maybe from the Matthew Golden one. I think that was a mismanagement. But I think you would view it the other way had they played Jordan Morgan in all 16 games the year prior. It was clear that guy wasn't ready. Or if they had started Lucas Van Ness the year before that over Rashawn Gary at edge rusher, a guy who clearly just wasn't ready for 75% of defensive snaps in his rookie season. So I think the Matthew Golden one is fair. I think maybe what it sounds like to me, your issue is their draft and develop mantra. They don't draft guys that are pro-ready. They draft guys who are going to take 3 or 4 years to peak. I mean, look at Jordan Love. Look at Lucas Van Ness. That seems to be their approach more commonly in the first round of the NFL draft.
No, I disagree. It's not just the draft. I think it's the overall whole project. We have a lot of talent. We get some talent at draft. We get a lot of talent free agency. They develop some talent, but they mismanage time and again. I don't know.
I think when it comes to mismanagement, it's the only reason I think as Packers fans, RJ, I think our big thing is that we know so much and we see so many guys, and sometimes we just focus on the negative versus the positives, right? And when you look up and down this roster, you just said it yourself, there's a lot of talented guys on this roster, and even though some of those guys, the most talented ones outside of Jordan Love, aren't draft picks. Elton Jenkins was a really talented guy that you drafted. Zach Tom was a really talented guy that you drafted, right? You just moved Sean Ryan to center where you're paying him a lot of money, so I would assume that you believe he's a really talented guy. Rashawn Gary was a point where he was talented and he played well. He got hurt, he came back, he got the contract, and he really never lived up to what we expected. Jair Alexander, another guy that was really talented. I think what he's getting at is he feels like Matthew Golden might be really on his heart right now because of the fact that last year I think it was clear and evident that Matthew Golden was mismanaged. And when I say mismanaged, is that he should have been a person that you were intentionally trying to get the rock, right?
Yeah,
get the ball in his hand as much as possible.
I fully agree with RJ's point on that.
Jaden Reed is another one that, he was not healthy last year, but the year before when he struggled, right? The last 7 weeks
the
he
disappearing
struggled.
act.
Yeah, like how do you make sure he doesn't have a disappearing act by giving him easy touches, getting him into a flow of game? So I think that's where some of the mismanagement comes. Maybe even what you heard from Quay Walker and him saying that, it's going to be nice in Oakland, in Las Vegas.
Hello.
All them places the Raiders play. That maybe he's going to be playing in the right position. So I think maybe that's what he means by the mismanagement of positional talent for these guys.
So hold on. I do have one problem with the point of RJ's call, and this is going to sound strange coming from me being the optimist I am, but a clear problem where you could point the finger back at Gutey is it's very evident in the Jordan Love era that the Green Bay Packers lack star power. They have a bona fide 3 top superstars. Jordan Love, Micah Parsons, Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, most offensive linemen aren't superstars.
Tucker Kraft is going to become a superstar, so I'll give you 4.
So you're talking about 4 guys. Four guys who could be
Super Bowl
all-pros.
champions typically have 5 or 6.
Yeah, but you just gave me 4, and the Packers Adrian Cooper could develop into one. I think Evan Williams has an opportunity. I think Javon Bullard as a nickel is going to be a dog this year, right? I think that third year is really what he's going to pop out, where he's going to continue to increase his swagger.
But is he superstar good, or is he just a good player?
He's not super. He's a really good player. You need a lot of really good players. I mean, I don't know how many All-Pros Seattle had. I doubt they had 5 or 6 All-Pros. Did they this year? They probably had 3 or 4, maybe.
I think they had 5.
That's impressive. But again, I do think the Green Bay Packers have enough guys on this roster that could potentially be All-Pros, but you don't need to have a whole bunch of All-Pros, right? You need to have some. You got to have some on the roster. I think the Packers, based off the talent that they have, there are some guys that are All-Pros that can get you there. It's about supplementing the rest of the roster so you have more depth and finding guys around the All-Pros that can elevate their play in order to make it a whole team thing and not an individual success.
Yeah, I guess I'll be curious to see, but if I'm not mistaken, this past year Green Bay only had 1 All-Pro, and that was Micah Parsons.
Yeah, but I mean, Xavier McKinney's really good, and this year, even though Xavier McKinney didn't have as many interceptions, there's a reason why, right? Like, teams aren't going to try to test a guy like that.
I take it back. Xavier McKinney was a second-team All-Pro, as was Daniel Whelan.
So look at that. So we got 5 potential All-Pros. Jordan Love. I don't know if Josh Jacobs will ever get to
now, I'm looking at all of the different lists. So he was not the AP, but he was Pro Football Focus's first-team punter, Daniel Whelan was.
Okay. But no, I just think, special teams is important, but I do believe that this roster is not that far off. And I think a lot of times, even in the call that we just had with RJ, is that people are focused on how the season ended versus the whole. Right? And yes, we had a terrible ending to the season this past season, and the next time we're going to see the Packers win a game is going to be after we watched them play 6 straight games or 5 straight games where they end up losing. But when I think about 6 straight games we see them losing. But when I don't know, 5, 6, 1 or 2. But when I think about the Green Bay Packers next year, I know this roster is going to be very, very talented, and it has an opportunity to go to a Super Bowl. Now, they're not a number 1 Super Bowl contender, but I think when you look in the NFC, they're definitely a top 5 Super Bowl contender, and that means you're in the mix.
Yeah, they're definitely in the mix. I don't have an argument with that. By the way, it was 5 for Seattle, 5 All-Pros for them, between first and second team in the Associated Press. I think they're in the top 5. I think they're in the mix. But then again, the way the NFC North is constructed, every team in the division finished over 500 last year.
That's true.
People forget that about the Minnesota Vikings.
Won't happen this year, though.
They were 9-8. I think it very well could happen this year.
The Bears will be under 500 this year.
You think the Bears will be under 500?
Of course, yes.
The reigning NFC North champion.
Yeah. How many wins did they have in the division last year? During the regular season?
Yeah, look at that smile on your face. You almost slipped up. What were they, 3-3?
I don't think
4-2?
I think they got swept by the Lions. They lost to the Packers.
They lost to Minnesota.
And then I think
McCarthy beat them.
Did they split with Minnesota?
They might have split, so 2-4?
Yeah.
Regardless, they won the division.
And
they won in the playoffs.
Their schedule's going to be much harder.
It is. I am curious to see what Chicago's in, but I'm not going to count them out. You can never count Detroit out. What does Kyler Murray do to Minnesota?
I'm counting the Bears out. I'm stuck on it. The Bears are counted out.
I hope you're right.
I know. I am going to be right. They're counted out. The division is entirely too good. You don't have that many games where you basically have to come back and win.
I think it's hard to say, though, because you're right. I don't think that's sustainable. His stupid Caleb Williams' stupid Iceman nickname. Like, I don't think you can win whatever it was, 6 or 7 games in
trash
comebacks.
Man in the playoffs. That's what he is, the trash man.
Hard to say, given what they did to the Packers in the fourth quarter, but that's neither here nor there. But sure, against Los Angeles, maybe not great. Threw a crucial interception in that game.
Bad in the first half against the Packers. Hell, he was bad through 3 quarters.
Now, I don't think the come-from-behind wins are sustainable for Chicago, but I'm not going to sit here and count them out. I think that's naive.
No, I'm not naive.
They've got a good head coach. Looks like they might finally have a quarterback that's at least worthwhile, who they won't move on from.
They will not make the playoffs.
I hope you're right, Kyle.
No, we can put.
But again, Minnesota went 9-8 and they didn't make the playoffs.
They will not.
But they were over 500.
They will not.
So every team in this division is still
under
good.
500 next year. Period.
Okay. I like your hatred for the Chicago Bears.
It's not hatred, it's just a reality.
Yeah, fair enough. I hope you're right. But I can't
hope. We just wait.
I can't sit here and say I know you're right. I have an interesting text I want to get to coming up next. I also want to get your reaction to the Bears safety pick from last night in the first round. Clearly, you've got something to say about that, about a team you do not think is going to make the playoffs. I'm interested to hear more about that.
They won't make
as
playoffs.
well. With you until 5 o'clock. It's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week across ESPN Wisconsin.
More coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
We're not trying to get from A to B. We're trying to get from A to SB, as in the Super Bowl.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
If you are a junior or senior, a graduating senior, or a parent of a high school basketball player with a goal of playing college basketball, visit the DME Academy Wisconsin program on the beautiful campus of St. John's in Delafield. Training starts in August with top flight coaches, facilities, and academics. You will play against the top players and teams and in front of college coaches across America. Ignite your dream of playing college basketball. Google DME at St. John's Northwestern Academy on the campus of St. John's in Delafield.
Homer here with Mike Bruner of Window Nation. Does it or is it done as quickly as people think or quicker than they think? Though, as you've just stated in the survey, it's clearly not as important as the comfort and the safety and how clean things are.
Yeah, the ultimate goal is to get the job done right. Fortunately, we pay our installers significantly more than most other companies out there, so we really do get to choose from the best of the best, and there's no reason why we're not cranking out a 15-window house in one day.
Excuse me?
Yeah, 15-window house in one day. I mean, our crews are phenomenal at what they do, and they are beyond efficient while also getting the job done properly, which is the most important part, getting it done right.
With Window Nation's The More You Buy, The More You Save sale, you could save up to 50% off. Plus, you could get 0 interest for 5 years. Window Nation, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
How are things at Kessler's Greenfield, Kelly?
Fantastic. I heard you have an idea for springtime. I love spring. I have a big collection of new life to show you.
New life is a spring thing.
Show us. I call it crosses and clovers. These are amazing. Well done, Kelly.
These are stunningly unique.
Kelly, the surface of this 4-leaf clover is fantastic. What's it made of? Sarah, the surface of that lucky 4-leaf clover is made of crushed black diamonds. Wow. I'm buying this one. How much? $185. In yellow gold vermeil, it's just $270. This cross, $90.
And these initials pendants?
These are $60.
Clovers, crosses, and personalized pendants.
And a leprechaun that says they're magically delicious. Sarah, that's a breakfast cereal.
Kelly, you've done well.
Extremely well. Extremely very well. Happy springtime, everyone.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? It's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walney Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walney Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at walneylegal.com.
Tell me a little about your Work Smart story.
I'm Dustin, and I've been a Smart 18 member for over 5 years. Before that, my jobs were pretty rough. Poor training, low pay, and bad benefits. I just wasn't getting anywhere. Then, I joined Smart 18, the union for Wisconsin's sheet metal workers, and everything changed. They hooked me up.
Start your smart journey today. Go to smart18info.com.
You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week right here on ESPN Wisconsin continues. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace, C-Cat running the show with you until 5 o'clock. I'm sorry. Okay, you're right. I am easily distracted.
What did I do that made
you did nothing? You did nothing this time. I was reading I lost the text I wanted to read you because I was reading an article in the break. Did you see the story about the Milwaukee Wave, the indoor soccer team?
It was brawling.
Yeah, so they're in the championship for their league.
Oh, they made it to the championship?
Yeah, they're in the championship series right now against San Diego. And game 1 of the championship series was at Milwaukee Panther Arena the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Giant brawl, fans getting into it with San Diego players.
Yeah, I saw that.
They just laid down the punishments. One San Diego player has been expelled from the league.
Dang, you got that bad.
And three guys from the San Diego team got suspended.
Oh,
so does that give Milwaukee the upper hand for a Game 2 response?
Did we lose nobody? Nobody got suspended from the Wave?
No penalties for anybody on Milwaukee.
Oh, wow. They were literally fighting with the fans. But the fans were out of order. They were throwing stuff at the players, which is out of order. Because we lost that game, I believe. Game 1, yeah.
They did, yes.
When's Game 2?
I do not know. That part was not in the article.
No, I mean, that's important. I would say if a team lost 4 players in a roster of maybe 15 to 20 guys, I would say that would be detrimental to their chances of winning a championship. So it looks like I
believe it's a best of 3.
Oh, this is the finals?
Yeah, it's the championship series.
Oh,
might be a best of 7. I have no idea. I don't know anything about this league, but I've followed the Wave from afar, I guess, but I don't know their championship series setup.
Back in the day when Keith Tozer was the coach, I definitely would follow back in my soccer playing days. Can't say I do now, and nor do I know what the series is. I just knew they lost the first game. That's all I knew. And I didn't realize the championship series. I feel like they were down in the previous series, and they must come back.
I have no idea, but there you have it. So there's what I got distracted by in the break. Now, I found the text I wanted to read you. This is from Rip and Arona on the Carbless text line, 800-990-3776. Rip says, fellas, we have to draft a defensive back today. Our best one is a kick returner. They should go corner tonight and hope one hits.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that.
I think it's unlikely, but I'd be fine with it.
I do believe it's unlikely they go corner. I do believe but I do believe there will be. I have a feeling that it's going to be defense. But again, you got to see how things shake out. Right now, the main focus is what do you have, what's on the board available for the second round, and then as the board shakes out, you never know what could happen in the third round. Hell, they may end up drafting the linebacker.
Ooh, linebacker.
I love Jacob Rodriguez. He's a dog.
I don't know if that's a position they need to target.
They don't need a position, but if there's one, like, they don't need to draft a linebacker, and I think it'd be irresponsible to draft a linebacker. But if they did, Jacob Rodriguez is a dog. There's a couple dogs out there that I like that don't fit as well, because there's a nickel corner, Scott from Miami, dog.
You know what I always find interesting?
C-Cat probably know what I'm talking about. Kamir Scott.
Don't follow.
Oh, okay.
All right, there you go.
You were down in Florida. You don't know nothing about the U. That's crazy.
Well, he's here now.
I get it, but I guess I love the U.
Do you?
I used to.
When did that change?
When they weren't good anymore.
But they were good this year.
Yeah. It's
they made it to the national championship.
It was more. When I was younger, the U was really good at football.
They were, yeah.
And so they had just a whole bunch of Keontae Scott, excuse me. They had a whole bunch of studs.
Wait, so now you're yelling at C-Cat. You said the wrong name.
I said the wrong first name. I knew it was K, and I knew the last name was Scott, but I couldn't remember what it was. Keontae Keontae.
Okay, so if I walked up to somebody and I said, "Hey, do you know Keontae Wallace?" They were thinking of something completely different.
No, if you said Keontae Wallace on the Miami Hurricanes, they say Wallace. You mean Keontae Scott? He's a stud. He's absolutely a stud.
No, if I say Keontae Wallace from the ESPN station up the street.
They would probably Keontae Wallace.
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
They would say Keontae. You mean Kyle? That is his first name.
You're
Keontae?
saying C-Cat should have corrected you?
No, he said he doesn't follow Miami Hurricane football, so no, he shouldn't have corrected me.
That was more I didn't recognize the name.
Yes.
Not that I don't follow Miami.
He wasn't following what you were saying.
Oh, so but when I say Keontae Scott,
familiar with the name, yeah.
Yeah, but when I said Scott, cornerback, you didn't click.
You didn't say cornerback.
He did play cornerback.
You didn't say cornerback. You just said an incorrect first name and a last name. Do you know who this is?
Oh, okay. I thought I was talking about the cornerback. I thought I said another guy that I like is we're not going to draft him as well is cornerback, but I might be wrong. I don't
Get
know
off your high horse today, would you?
I'm not on a high horse. Listen, I'm not being mean to C-Cat, so I don't know. I'm not trying to.
I think those were the first words C-Cat has ever spoken on ESPN Wisconsin, and you tried to throw him under the bus.
No, sure. I'm not doing this today.
For those of you who don't know who we're talking about, that, of course, is our buddy C-Cat, Christian Cat, who joins us from our sister
now you
station.
don't put his whole name out there.
ESPN
I didn't know
West
his name
Palm.
was that. That's crazy. That's wild. You didn't even ask the man. Some people don't even want to put their name out there.
Well,
like
I think that's what he went by on ESPN West Palm, our sister station. People called him C-Cat, but I think his full name's out there.
That's crazy. I didn't know his full name until yesterday.
I work for a Fortune 500, and like my government name is supposed to be protected, so that's kind of sucks.
Wait, you used to work for a Fortune 500?
No, I do now.
Oh,
This is my
sure.
part-time gig.
Okay, got it. Yeah, okay. We're hiding his name.
We were.
That's crazy. I tried to tell him.
Somebody's coming after you now.
No, you're gonna learn. That's what Strouf does. Strouf just don't know when to not say certain things.
But C-Cat joins us from our sister station, ESPN West Palm. He's now the engineer of our Brewers broadcast on our sister station, 620 WTMJ, helping us out on the ESPN side.
Good old
this
Craig
week.
Cat.
Yep. Craig. Keith with a C. Just like your Carl with a K.
Dude, that was so stupid by you. Literally a Carl. We got Carl Brooks on our roster, and you said, I don't know Carls with a K.
I've got a position I think the Packers absolutely have to draft this weekend.
I derailed.
You do that often.
I derailed. I'm sorry.
I have a position I think the Packers absolutely have to draft this weekend. And it's not cornerback, and it's not offensive line, and it's not defensive line. I will tell you what that is coming up in 2 minutes on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
Take it home this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. $300,000 is on the line, and you're at bat to win your share. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Plus, your April drawing entries all count toward another prize drawing in June. It's the Base Race Game Show. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods in New Berlin is the baseball lover's destination with a massive state-of-the-art indoor training facility featuring hit tracks with precision analytics, a huge open turf area, and all the best training equipment you need. So get in here and get ready to get better. And we'll help you with this special offer. Buy 20 batting cage credits for $30. That's 25% off. This is Brian Burkhardt, and if you love baseball and softball like we do,
You can't beat Burkhardt.
153rd and National. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhardt, where you'll find a great selection of residential basketball hoops from the best brand, Gorilla. We'll handle the installation and take care of everything to make it easy from start to finish. And right now when you buy from Burkhardt, standard hoop installation is half price. You can't beat that. This is Brian Burkhardt, and when you love basketball like we do,
You can't beat Burkhardt.
Swing and a miss. It is a career-high 9th strikeout for Riley Peterson.
Catch Riley and the Milwaukee Panthers baseball team as they take on Wright State at Franklin Field. The series starts on Friday at 3 p.m. Then bring out the family on Saturday at 2 for Senior Day, featuring a special senior citizen ticket offer and free tailgate blankets. Plus, kids can run the bases and get free tickets. The series concludes on Sunday at 1 p.m. $10 tickets are available at mkepanthers.com. Panther Athletics for the MKE.
This is Wisconsin basketball head coach Greg Gard. This is 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD2, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The biggest event of the offseason. Franchise-changing picks.
Green Bay Packers select Aaron Rodgers, quarterback from California.
League-shaking moves.
The Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
The Green Bay Packers select
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week continues. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace, C-Cat with you from the Gerbil offices. One call, that's all studio in downtown Milwaukee. Packers finally get their opportunity. It's some picks tonight, baby. Can't wait.
All right.
You're not going to yell at me for calling you baby?
That was different. Because we weren't having a direct conversation. You didn't drop it.
Who the hell else am I talking to?
You were talking to everybody listening.
The millions listening.
Yeah.
The millions listening.
The millions.
Yeah, the millions and millions.
I can reassure you there's not millions of people listening.
Oh, you're selling yourself short, pal.
No, not millions. Maybe on social media when you add in all the Instagram and Twitter stuff.
Millions listening here on ESPN Wisconsin. So I've thought long and hard about this draft and what I want to see the Packers do. And I think before I tell you a position I've landed on that I think they absolutely need to draft, at least one pick at, is I've kind of come to the conclusion that 8 picks isn't going to be enough. So I would, and I told you this a bit earlier in the program, but if you're just joining us, I don't think the Packers are going to pick at 52. I think they're going to move back to acquire at least one more pick, and it probably won't be the only time they move back this weekend, especially after seeing what Buffalo did last night. Did you see what they did?
Traded back 3 times?
They traded back 3 times and out of the first round, so I feel bad for Buffalo fans who were watching the draft last night. Expecting a pick. Oh, nope, they've traded back. Okay, we're going to expect a pick again. Oh, they traded back again. Okay, now this time they have to pick, right? They've traded back twice already. Nope, they traded back out of the first round. You stayed up late for no reason.
Great. You should be happy. That means your team acquired more assets.
I don't think the Packers will do that, where they trade back 3 times in a row, but I would not be shocked if they trade back from 52 and say trade back in the 4th round to acquire an extra pick in the 7th. I would guess Brian Gutekunst is going to do
trade back what?
To get an extra pick in the 7th.
I thought you said trade back to the 4th round.
In the 4th round, trade back to acquire an extra pick in the 7th round.
Got it.
I would not be shocked to see Brian Gutekunst get up to double-digit picks this weekend. We know how much he loves his picks. We know how much he values his picks. But if we break down what they could realistically spend draft capital on this weekend, I think you could make a case they need double-digit picks because they probably need 2 cornerbacks. They probably need 2 defensive linemen, one on the edge, one inside. They probably need an outside and inside offensive lineman. That's 6 picks right there.
Yeah, competition.
And are the Packers still a believer in Marshawn Lloyd as their RB2, or do they need to bring some competition in at running back?
That is one of the bigger questions that we're not going to get answered until, we'll
have that answer by Sunday morning when you and I do Sunday Karma at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
But do they view that they need a running back? Are they comfortable with just Desmond Ridder backing up Jordan Love, or do they want to bring in some competition for him at backup quarterback?
Man, you are on this Desmond Ridder hate train.
We brought up before the tight end position. Luke Musgrave's in the final year of his deal.
John Fitzpatrick coming off an Achilles tendon injury. So
Tucker Kraft coming off of an ACL. Is he going to be ready week 1?
Mm-hmm.
So tight end is certainly a position that I think they should take a look at some point this weekend. But there is another position aside from the obvious of cornerback, defensive line, and offensive line that I think the Packers absolutely need to take a crack at this weekend.
This weekend, or are you talking about tonight?
This weekend.
Okay.
Preferably not in the 7th round, but somewhere between rounds 3 and 5, 3 and 6. I think the Packers need to draft a wide receiver this weekend.
Okay.
There is some serious uncertainty at that position after the 2026 season.
Serious, you say?
Correct.
I think there's uncertainty about whether or not you're going to keep both of them, but I think we feel pretty confident you're going to keep one. You're not going to let both of those guys walk.
Sure, but that's only...
And we're talking about Jaden Reed and Christian Watson.
Right, so let's just go through that room real quick. You mentioned the 2 eldest guys, and the 2 guys you're likely the most comfortable with at this moment in April of 26. Christian Watson and Jaden Reed. They are both entering contract years. Then you take a look at the 2 guys behind them, each entering year 2. It's Matthew Golden and Sabian Williams. Kyle, tell me who else is in that room.
Bo Melton.
Maybe?
You just signed another guy named Sky Moore.
Yeah, but do you really want him playing wide receiver, or do you want him to focus on being your kick returner?
I promise you, when they signed Sky Moore, they were thinking about, is there any ways that we can utilize him on the offensive side of the ball? He's your kick returner, he's your punt returner, but the Green Bay Packers don't just have guys that just do kick returner or punt returner. They try to utilize them in more than one way. That's just the Green Bay Packer way.
But we know for multiple seasons now, the Green Bay Packers have viewed the depth at wide receiver as one of their superpowers. And this offseason, they've moved on from 2 guys, one of which was their leading receiver last year in Romeo Dobbs, and the other of which won them a huge game on Thanksgiving in Dontavian Wicks, who they traded to Philadelphia. So those are 2 guys that have made a significant impact in that position group over the course of the last 2 seasons, who are now no longer in that room. You're down to those 4, and if you feel good about Sky Moore, all the power to you.
Yeah.
And Bo Melton, is he a cornerback? Is he a wide receiver? Or is he just a special teams?
Bo Melton is a fine number 5 wide receiver. He is. Listen,
let me tell you a secret.
We don't.
Let me tell you a secret. I think you can do better than Bo Melton.
I think you could, but Bo Melton. Let's not act like Bo Melton's just some trash guy. I mean, he's not a stud, but he's a guy that you can put out there and you wouldn't be all too worried about it. I mean, last year not practicing at wide receiver, but then getting out there and getting some snaps is pretty impressive. But do we need to draft a wide receiver in this draft? I don't think we need to. Would it be smart to draft one maybe in the 7th round, especially when you're talking about it being the 6th or the 7th round? Yeah, I think it would be smart to add depth at that position because you never know where you can strike gold. But when I think about it, they shouldn't be thinking about drafting a wide receiver tonight. I can tell you that much because if you draft a wide receiver tonight, I think that sends a message, A, that Christian Watson and Jaden Reed might be on watch list. But after drafting a wide receiver in the 1st round and the 3rd round of last year, you already used your, draft a wide receiver early card last season. You can't do that in back-to-back seasons because when you have other positions that need to be filled. The wide receiver room is fine. It's good where it's at. Gabe Neisel, who joined us earlier this week, listen, he talked about guys are now going to have defined roles, and I really think that's going to pay dividends for this team. And then in addition to that, we were talking about a pass catcher. I would much rather put a higher premium on drafting a tight end than drafting a wide receiver because when you look at the depth at the tight end position, we're talking about guys coming off injuries. You're talking about Luke Musgrave, who it doesn't look like the Packers are going to bring him back after this season because he hasn't really lived up to expectations. I would rather draft at that room than drafting a receiver room.
I hear where you're coming from saying they can't go early and often at wide receiver 2 years in a row.
It would be.
It's not even me that disagrees with you, Kyle. It's Brian Gutekunst who disagrees with you. Let's flash back to the 2022 draft when they drafted Christian Watson in the 2nd round, Romeo Doubs in the 4th round, and Samori Toure in the 7th round. The following year, they drafted Jaden Reed in the 2nd round and Dontavian Wicks in the 5th round. That's how they rebuilt the room. So if we look at this past year's draft, and by the way, the 2022 draft class, only 4 members of that team are on the roster, 2 of them on contract years, and Christian Watson and Devontae Wyatt, the 2023 class entering the final year of their deals. As the Packers look to reload and draft and develop, I very well think this is a year where they could go look in the 3rd or 4th round and say, we love that guy, we're not going to let him pass up. And even as early as the 2nd, I don't think anybody would be super thrilled with that. But if they are operating under the understanding that we're not going to be able to keep both Christian Watson and Jaden Reed, we want to make sure that cupboard's not bare. So I think wide receiver, not only in my mind, but also in the Packers' mind, is a necessity at some point this weekend.
Yeah, I think where we're at is completely different. When you talk about them drafting Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, they drafted Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson and actually were looking to have them play because you're talking about a team that had Allen Lazard as like their best wide receiver that season. So you have to, and then the following year, you just had those 2 young wide receivers and you need to bring in more. You already have young wide receivers. You already have Savion Williams. You already have Matthew Golden. You already have Jaden Reed. And you have Christian Watson, where unless they don't believe they're going to end up signing but 1 of 2 of those guys, then you already have 2 guys plus another young guy that you're giving an extension to. That wasn't the case when they drafted Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. The roster makeup is completely different, and it's a different time. So, yes, it made sense to do that time because you really had to rebuild that room. I don't think the Packers really need to rebuild the room because you still, technically speaking, if things work out in a perfect world, even after you leave the 2026 season, if Savion Williams steps up and plays a good role, being a really good 3rd-round pick for the Packers, now you're just talking about either Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, and Savion Williams, or you're talking about Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, and Savion Williams. But if Savion Williams is the guy that you expect him to be, you don't have to concern yourself with drafting somebody in the 2nd and the 3rd round this year. It was very different back then. They didn't have depth. They didn't have any other getting a contract extension at that time. They had to rebuild the room. The room doesn't need to be fully rebuilt right now.
But I think if you give Brian Gutekunst credit for one thing during his tenure entering year 9 as the Packers general manager, he's admitted wrongdoing. He's learned from his mistakes.
So wait, but what is the wrongdoing?
Don't leave the wide receiver room bare, like they did with Allen Lazard.
They're not leaving the wide receiver room bare when you legitimately have 2. Matter of fact, the Packers this season on their roster had multiple wide receivers who were months away from getting paid. When I say months away from getting paid, Christian Watson ended up getting paid. And then you have Romeo Doubs who ended up getting paid. Hell, your number 4 wide receiver, maybe 5 wide receiver, and Tay Wicks, he got paid. So that, I'm not saying this room is bare whatsoever. You know for sure not for sure.
You know nothing for sure.
But we feel pretty comfortable and confident to know that Watson or Reed are going to get a payday from the Green Bay Packers after this season.
Okay, that's 1.
And then Matthew Golden, number 1 pick from last year that we all
that's 2.
And then Savion Williams, a 3rd-round pick. If you draft him in the 3rd round,
are you sold on Savion Williams?
I'm not sold on Savion Williams, but I didn't draft.
I don't know
Savion
that anybody is.
I think the Green Bay Packers probably see more in Savion Williams. You don't draft a guy. I mean, If you draft him in the third round, you already think he's a bust, and then you draft a second round. Then you draft another.
If the Packers drafted a wide receiver at competition this year, than there was a year ago for a rookie.
There's less competition, but he's not getting. You think,
and even more so next year.
You think he's getting slotted ahead of Savion Williams right away, day one? I doubt he's getting.
Depending on the type of wide receiver they draft, but Savion Williams is compared to Cordarrelle Patterson.
Matthew Golden arguably was behind Tay Wicks in certain points during last season when it came to certain targets. So I can't guarantee that whatsoever. But I don't think the Packers are in the position right now to be drafting a wide receiver that early. But Savion Williams did not show me enough this year where I feel like, I got to write him off. I just don't think he's going to be that impactful of a player. I think at the best he'll probably be a number 3 wide receiver, and I think you can find a number 3 wide receiver in the 5th round. That's where my disappointment comes in with Savion Williams. Is when you draft a guy in the 3rd round that early, the expectation is he may develop into somebody. He may be a guy that can get you 50 catches in a season, and I'm not sure Savion Williams will ever be that guy. But it's still early.
I just want to point out.
He made really spectacular catch in a game last year.
Packers drafted a really good receiver at pick 52 back in the day. His name was Greg Jennings.
Oh, Greg Jennings.
If I told you, the Packers are going to draft Greg Jennings 2.0 tonight.
Yeah.
It's got to be a pick 52.
Yeah,
You're saying no to that?
No, I wouldn't say no to that. Of course not. But even that was a different time with that roster because Greg Jennings got drafted before we got Jordy Nelson, correct, and James Jones. So, I mean, there was now you're talking about, and Donald Trump was getting older at that time. I got to go back. That must have been a 2008 draft.
Sounds right.
And so I got to go back and fully look at the Packers 2008 roster.
I'm just saying.
The wide receiver, it's all about where the rooms are at,
If we look at history, we look at trends, I think it is very, very, very on the table that the Packers draft a wide receiver before the 7th round this week.
I mean, yeah. What a take is that? Wow. What a hot take. The Packers may end up drafting a wide receiver in the 7th round. Wow.
I said before the 7th round.
Okay. Oh, the 6th round. Wow. Boy, that is hot.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was tonight.
Now that's a take. Saying the Green Bay Packers are going to draft a wide receiver
I think they view that position as more of a need than most of us do.
No, I don't think they're drafting a wide receiver tonight, but I doubt it.
You probably didn't think that in 2023 either, but then they went on to draft Jaden Reed in the 2nd round after they drafted Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs the year before, and they both had really solid rookie campaigns.
They drafted multiple pass catchers that year because the roster needed pass catchers. That's what they needed. When they made that draft pick of Jaden Reed, in that same draft, who did they draft earlier? Luke Musgrave. Who did they draft the 3rd round? Tucker Kraft, because they needed to remake the weapons on their offense because they understood there was somebody who was about to be the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
There was no tight ends under contract for next year yet. Tucker Kraft will be extended. We assume that.
Now, Tucker, this is my thing. The tight end position is one that I see before the wide receiver position.
I bet it's best player available type situation. I wouldn't be I really do think they're going to acquire more picks, and they'll address both.
A tight end can be more of an impact than a wide receiver could be this year. A wide receiver this year, if you draft him early, they're not going to be part of the top 3 of the rotation. A tight end can come in right away and be your number 2 tight end. Whether you get a blocking guy that could be able to block or you get an athlete, you can find a tight end that can actually be a contributor right away, because one thing that we do know, even though we're having a conversation about what we're going to do with Christian Watson, what we're going to do with Jaden Reed, we ain't having the same conversation about Luke Musgrave. So that is a position where you do need to reload.
Andy in Middleton chimes in. Can't argue we don't need wide receiver health when 3 of those 5 are an injury risk. If you are counting on Savion Williams in any capacity to have to step in and help the wide receivers, you are in trouble.
Yeah, I am not the biggest fan of Savion Williams, but obviously people inside of that building believe Savion Williams has something. They are going to give him every opportunity to try to prove us wrong. They are. I mean, you're not going to draft a guy in the 3rd round and count him out just like that. Look at what they did with Jordan Morgan. Jordan Morgan ain't showed us diddly squat poo. And he about to be our starting left tackle. Starting left tackle. The blind side of your franchise quarterback. If y'all thought Jordan run was bad, what if that happens every week? Not just against Myles Garrett.
It won't.
You don't know that.
I feel pretty comfortable with Jordan Morgan.
Okay.
I'm more worried about other offensive linemen than Jordan Morgan.
What offensive lineman are you more worried about than Jordan Morgan?
Aaron Banks.
Wow, that's something. The guy that you just paid all that money to, and then you just restructured his contract.
I'm not
going to keep on the roster longer. You're more concerned about Aaron Banks might outlive.
Well, it's an injury concern too.
Okay.
Because he couldn't stay healthy last year. How many different injuries did he have?
No, it seemed like his neck, my back.
I'm really curious to see what Sean Ryan is too. I'm not worried about him because he was, I think, an improvement from Elton Jenkins. But
at center,
are we over conflating how good he was just because it was that bad with Elton Jenkins?
I think he was fine at center. Would I have made the decision 100% based off what they paid him pretty good money. I would have preferred for them to draft a guy that's played center before. But, again, he was fine last year. He was fine, and I think he'll be fine this year.
800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and text line, 800-990-3776. Listens more with Carbless, Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace with you. We roll on. Right after this, it's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
We do have a few problems out there. Highway 164 northbound is closed at I-94 because of a crash. And the ramp from westbound 94 to 164 is also closed because of this crash. We also have a crash on 41 heading southbound right at Silver Spring. That's off on the left shoulder. So that's going to be tightening things up through that area. And then we have one other issue on 94 northbound at the ramp from Rawson Avenue. Left shoulder is blocked with a crash there. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 43. Tomorrow, becoming mostly sunny, a high of 58 at the lake, 65 inland. Weather is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof siding and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Green Bay Packers select.
It's officially draft week, and ESPN Wisconsin is your home for everything you need to know.
If there are going to be teams that are interested in moving up to get a specific player, that feels to me to be exactly what Gutey needs.
From the first pick to the final name called, we've got it all. Thursday to Saturday, live and local with wall-to-wall coverage. 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, or ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
This is Coach Greg Gard. Strong teams succeed with the right partners. Bank CMG works closely with Wisconsin business owners, offering local insight, modern tools, and honest guidance you can trust. They take the time to understand your goals and help you build something sustainable. Whether you're managing cash flow, planning for growth, or navigating change, having the right banking partner matters. When your business matters, your bank should too. BankCMG.com.
Look, it's Jake from our store in Kenosha.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick.
Your email said you had a big surprise.
Look and tell me what you see.
Wow, I see 9 perfect examples of the classic diamond solitaire engagement ring.
They're gorgeous.
These rings are exactly what people imagine when they hear the words engagement ring.
Monica, do you think it will always be like that?
Evermore.
That long?
And each of these is 3/4 of a carat.
$998.
Unbelievable. So how much do we sell them for?
That is how much we sell them for.
Can we do that?
We're the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America, Rick. We can do anything we want.
But for how long?
Evermore.
People can choose any of the 9 most popular style solitaires, 3/4 of a carat, and each of them was created in the heart of a miniature star.
5 different diamond shapes, 2 colors of gold. Evermore, just $998.
Or $14.98 with 1 carat diamond center with diamonds on the side.
Learn more at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Buying a new roof might not be the most exciting thing you'll do this year, but for us at Big Fish Contracting, being chosen to do that roof for you not only provides income for multiple families in southeastern Wisconsin, but has a global reach and impact around the world. To us, it's more than just a roof. We've been earning trust for over 2 decades, roofing, siding, windows, and more. Go to bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week continues. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace, CCAT running the show for us. We'll get back to the draft talk in a few minutes, but it's been about 24 hours. The dust beginning to settle. I just want to see where our Bucks backer is at. And Kyle Wallace, our Milwaukee guy, as Taylor Jenkins is the new Bucks head coach, as the Bucks reaching an agreement with him to become the franchise's next head coach. Spent 6 seasons in Memphis as the head coach of the Grizzlies. Now the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks as they try to navigate these waters on will Giannis be here or will Giannis not be here? What do you make of this hire? Are you feeling good about it 24 hours later?
I feel great about the hire 24 hours later. Anytime you can get a guy that has a proven track record of being able to build something, right? A guy that was able to take over a team in Memphis and bring them into not a championship team, but make them really competitive and develop young talent, you should be excited about that. That is what the Milwaukee Bucks need to do, is that regardless of what happens with Giannis Antetokounmpo, you need somebody who can develop a culture, who can build up a team and build up a roster, and that's exactly what he can do. This past year for the Milwaukee Bucks, and really past 2 years or 2.5 years with Doc Rivers, has just been miserable. It's been just disjointed. It's been a lot of drama, and it hasn't really been about building towards something. It always just seemed like they were taking it a year at a time versus looking at how can we build something for the long term. The hiring of Taylor Jenkins, I think, really shifts the focus to how do we build this team for the long term. If it's with Giannis, then you have a serious conversation with Giannis about we're going to try to bring in guys that are going to be here with you for the next couple of years versus trying to get a rental that can be here or trying to get these fill-in guys. Like this roster that we have is full of a whole bunch of guys that we never thought were going to be able to help the Bucks win an NBA championship, right? When you're talking about bringing in a KPJ has never played significant minutes on a championship team. Kyle Kuzma was young when he played for the Lakers, but he also was playing with LeBron James, and he is not the same player that he was before. Now, Miles Turner, he was a guy that we felt like he can help get you over the top. But this roster, like even a Ryan Rollins and A.J. Green, like, yeah, are they good, great projects that you worked on? Yes. But they're not guys that have ever played significant minutes in a moment that mattered. So when I think about bringing in Taylor Jenkins, I'm thinking about a guy who can actually build the foundation. The Bucks are finally moving past hiring somebody who's going to be a quick fix in Doc Rivers and getting somebody who's going to be focused on building this team for the long term. Personally, I don't believe it's going to keep Giannis here. So that actually makes it even better for the Bucks if Giannis does move, hiring Taylor Jenkins, who is going to be the hottest commodity on the market.
Yeah, that's why the Bucks wasted no time in hiring their next head coach. And obviously other teams that are even in the postseason may have decisions to make with their current head coach. The Warriors still obviously awaiting what Steve Kerr is going to do. The Bulls have an opening, but they need to hire a GM first. Are the Orlando Magic going to fire their guy?
You don't need to do that, though.
Well, yeah, I mean,
because they've
turned it around.
Because if you think about Minnesota Vikings in the NFL, they don't have a GM.
You're right. They never did replace Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, did they?
They're waiting until after, and that's why they drafted a dude that has a foot injury. Boy,
who's making those picks for the Vikings?
That is a great question. I don't follow enough, but I do know that they have not replaced their general manager yet because the guy that they fired because he probably took a paternity leave after he had a kid, which is crazy. Well, I shouldn't say they fired him because of that, but that was
apparently that was a bad taste. I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway,
the story that was out.
But the Bucks do have a general manager. He's John Horst. They obviously have the ownership brass that was a part of hiring Jenkins. They met last week in Memphis, and then this past Tuesday in Milwaukee to secure his commitment. Jenkins spent one season here in Milwaukee with Giannis under Mike Budenholzer. It was Budenholzer's first season, 2018-19, as the head coach in Milwaukee before departing for Memphis, where he became the franchise's all-time winningest coach. It's a good hire, right? I mean, everybody's talked about, you just talked about it there too, Kyle. This guy's a defensive coach. He helped Jaren Jackson evolve into the Defensive Player of the Year candidate he was. And obviously that's important to a team that didn't know how to play defense this year in the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, my gosh. Atrocious at defense. Atrocious.
So the good news here is, number one, they've got a younger coach who clearly, to your point, can set a culture, can bring good things to the team he's coaching. It is now on the Bucks brass, John Horst specifically, to retool this roster because the Bucks don't have to make a decision on Giannis. he can't legally sign the Supermax. Of course, he can verbally say he's going to sign it until October 1st.
You said they don't have to make a decision on Giannis until when?
Well, they don't have to ever. He's under contract.
Yes, you do.
I know you do. It's the smart and right thing to do, and they will.
The decision for you have to make a decision for you.
You don't have to make the decision today.
No, you don't have to make it today, but you need to be starting to have conversations. The decision needs to be made before June 25th.
Is that when the NBA draft is?
That is the NBA draft. The decision must be made before June 25th if you want to maybe make more of an impact now.
So I agree with you. But if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, are you sitting here going, yeah, I'll just wait until he formally requests a trade?
No, you don't. You have to be very direct. And
otherwise, they're going to spend all offseason trying to retool this roster. Free agency, trades. They're going to try to make this more of a championship competitive roster than they had this past season.
One thing that we have learned about this new Milwaukee Bucks organization, I say new because Jimmy Haslam's in now. You got a new president of operations for the Milwaukee Bucks. And with all that, they seem to be a lot more direct. Both of the new people who have only been around here for a little bit, they both have said things that were headline worthy. You have Jimmy Haslam saying that we're going to do what's best for Giannis and do best for Bucks, but also there's two routes. Him and Wes Edens basically told Ramona Shelburne from ESPN, is either we're going to trade him or he's going to sign the extension. Mm-hmm. Josh Glesson, he joined 620 WTMJ, and he said, they said, well, what about Giannis? And they said, well, he's on the roster. Like, They need to make a decision about Giannis, and they've been very bold in their stances that they're not beating around the bush at this point, is that they need to have a conversation with Giannis by the end of May to determine exactly what is the future going to be. That is all you have. And at that point, then John Horst needs to start figuring out, okay, what is life going to be after Giannis, or what is life going to be with Giannis? What do we do with this first-round pick if Giannis decides to stay? What do we do with the first-round pick if Giannis decides to go? You need to know, going into June 25th, exactly what the roster is going to look like next year. Now, you won't, or what you want it to look like. You won't know whether or not, if you don't know about Giannis, then you can't really build a roster yet. So you have to know that before the draft, because that might change what you do in the draft day. You may trade the pick, or you may draft a guy that can maybe come in and support Giannis versus a guy that may have a higher ceiling that has more potential. But the Milwaukee Bucks have to make a decision on what they're going to do with Giannis before June 25th, and I hope Taylor Jenkins is pushing that. And if he took the job thinking he was going to coach Giannis, bad on him. Bad on him.
Yeah.
But I don't think that is the case.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Taylor Jenkins being hired, though, I think every move you make between now and when you make that decision, or when you pull the trigger on a trade or get his signature on the dotted line for the Supermax extension, it's about Giannis.
Yeah, this roster's not good.
No, it's not. There's a ton of work to be done, Kyle.
There's literally one player outside of Giannis that I would keep, or two players outside of Giannis, but maybe one.
Ousmane Dieng is one of them.
He's the only one, because Miles Turner I would keep, but also I would trade him.
Ryan Rollins?
Yeah, I'll keep Ryan. He's cheap.
I'm trying to think if there's
AJ
anybody
Green,
else.
But again,
maybe you could always use a shooter, so maybe Cormac Ryan.
Yeah, but
he's under contract.
And what I'm thinking like any guys that are going to make an impact. I don't think any of these other guys outside of Zhang is going to make an impact on this roster in the future. He's the only one that I really feel like is a future piece. Ryan Rollins is good, but he's not a starting point guard for an NBA championship team.
Yeah, you just did the thing you accused me of doing earlier.
Well, yes, I did. Because typically it's like somebody comes into the studio. I'm like, oh, who's back there?
As you're mid-sentence, but you continued because you're a multitasker.
You're right. You got me there.
That you are. All right, we get back to draft talk. Taylor Jenkins, your new coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. Plenty more to figure out with that scenario. I wonder how Bango's feeling right now. Hope Bango's feeling all right about the whole situation and what's to come the next couple of months.
Bango will be all right.
You think so?
Yeah.
Best mascot in sports, Bango the Buck. Back to Draft Talk right after this. It's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
More coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
Well, we still have this accident on Highway 164 at 994. Basically, northbound 164 is closed right at the freeway because of this accident. And they've also closed off the off-ramp from westbound 94 to 164. because of the accident. So try and stay away from that area if you can. Yes, there are delays heading through that area. And we've also got a crash on 41 southbound at Silver Spring off on the left shoulder, seeing delays coming in from before Good Hope Road all the way down past Appleton to about Capitol Drive. You got the northbound side slowing down through the construction zone anyway from Mayfair Road all the way up to Silver Spring. And then one other accident. This one's on northbound 94 right at the ramp from Rawson off on the left shoulder. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 43. Tomorrow, becoming mostly sunny, a high of 58 at the lake, 65 inland. Weather is brought to you by Lakeland Resort. Spring is here. Escape to Lakeland Resort in the Geneva Lakes region. Enjoy lakeside dining, golf, spa, and more. Plan your getaway at lakelandresort.com. Everything's better at the lake. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
When Milwaukee families need help, the United Way is there, reducing barriers to employment, providing transportation, safe and stable homes, and more for over 192,000 people.
And this month, Gudekunst is proud to stand beside them. Hi, I'm Bill Eater with Gudekunst of Milwaukee.
And I am Tony Avery with the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County. During the Gudekunst Drives Milwaukee 1000 event, they're donating $100 to the United Way for every vehicle sold.
Our goal this month is simple: 1,000 vehicles across 3 Gudekunst Milwaukee dealerships.
For a $100,000 donation to the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County.
To help us reach our goal, you'll find incredible deals on all new and pre-owned vehicles at our 3 locations in Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Hope Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall.
Be a part of Driving Milwaukee Forward at the Gudekunst Drives Milwaukee 1000 event.
Start your search today at GudekunstMKE.com. That's GudekunstMKE.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
No matter what business you're in, as the #1 SBA lender in Wisconsin, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions.
Awarded the #1 SBA lender by the Small Business Administration of Wisconsin in 2025.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our great friends at Road America, America's national park of speed. Turn your day into an experience at Road America. Conveniently located in between Madison, Milwaukee, and Green Bay, this legendary track offers more than just racing. Walk the grounds, explore every corner, and watch the action from wherever you want. Kids 16 and under get you in free with a paying adult at the gate and camp on site all weekend long. IndyCar is must-see and is coming up on June 18th through the 21st. Great food, great views, and non-stop action. Road America, where racing meets outdoors. Check out roadamerica.com to get tickets.
Feels like the world is a little broken lately. Maybe all we need is a fix. Most spirits are acidic. Fix Vodka is different. Fix Vodka is the world's first high-alkaline, acid-free vodka. Handcrafted with natural spring water and select grain. Clean, smooth, done right. Better water, better vodka. Get your local Fix.
Fix Vodka.
Enjoy responsibly.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Oh, I'm getting fired up. It's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week right here on ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace, C-Cat running the show for us today. I'll tell you what, man. Pick 52. You stop yawning.
Somebody else just told me that. Listen, only a couple people can see me yawn. I'm not tired. I just yawn a lot. I don't drink coffee.
You should work that in.
I don't drink coffee. Whoa. Why would you encourage me to get addicted to coffee?
Well, number one, you're making it seem like it's an unquittable addiction.
No, but
it's a good way to start your day.
Have you seen the way people are about their coffee? They start scratching like they a fiend. I remember when I worked at UW
I think you're making that part up.
Bro, I remember at UW Parks, I would never forget. I was 25 years old. And the coffee pot was broken. And usually they brew their own coffee. I don't drink coffee. The attitude the men and women in that office had because the coffee machine was not working, I'm like, oh my gosh. Everybody was over there looking at the coffee machine, trying to figure out how they can get it to work. They were all crabby. I said, this is incredible. Y'all all crabby over coffee?
So
Get over
did you drink coffee prior to that point?
No, I don't drink coffee.
You've never drank coffee?
No, I tried it before. It wasn't good. My grandpa used to give me coffee when I was like 4. He used to call it scotch.
4?
He just had, you want to taste a sip of it? And it was very sweet. I said,
coffee's not, I don't know if sweet's the right word for coffee.
It was, he added a lot of sugar.
And scotch?
Well, he wasn't feeding a 4-year-old scotch.
I don't know that.
No, he wasn't getting me drunk, Strouf.
You're the one who said it, not
that's
me.
what he called it that. He was an old man. He was born in the 20s. That's what they did. But no, why would you? I would not have. I would never.
You really? But hold on. I actually want to talk about something, but I guess we'll wait to do that. I'm confused by you going from I yawn a lot. I don't drink coffee.
Well, because people drink coffee because it gives them more energy that doesn't make them tired.
I thought you said you weren't tired.
I'm not tired.
Okay. You realize you're speaking in circles right now, though.
Well, yeah, when I said tired.
Rob chimes in. Kyle, coffee is healthy, bro.
I don't think it is. Coffee's bad. Like, I think certain people, like when you're pregnant, are you not supposed to drink coffee?
I've never been pregnant. I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I think I know they say on a plan or whatever. No, I don't think you should be drinking coffee the way people do.
Okay. So why do you yawn so much?
I just yawn a lot, man. I'm just drowsy.
The thing that irritated me about that yawning, I'm just drowsy. That's a synonym of tired, by the way, for those of you keeping track at home. The thing that irritated me was I was about to give you a speech about how jacked up I am that we finally get a pick for the Green Bay Packers here in probably less than 3 hours.
I'm super jacked up about it.
You're jacked up about it?
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, you seem it. You're yawning. You're jacked up about it?
Mm-hmm. No, I legitimately, I've been waiting so long for this Packers to make this pick, especially after they traded. Because all the curiosity that we had when the Packers traded away the first-round pick, we were all like, ooh, they actually did it. And, this is going to be different territory.
It really is. So I read the stat last night. It was the first time the Packers had entered the first round of the draft since 1989 without a first-round pick.
It's a long time.
Now, there's been years they haven't made a first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I believe 2008 and 2017 are the two most recent that they haven't made one. I might be missing one in there. But typically they make a first-round selection. And this year, obviously, they won't. Next year, we assume they won't. I mean, they could always trade back in theory.
Yeah, I mean, they could. They're going to have a little bit more ammo next year.
Right, but you'd likely have to give up a first-round pick if you want to move into the first round.
What if you get to the end of the second round? I mean, depending on how bad you are.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you're...
Which it won't be us, so yeah, they'll have to give up a first-round pick.
Correct. So we will have at least 2 years where they do not have a first-round pick. Just going to take some getting used to. My juice was a little low yesterday, but my juice is back now.
I mean, you had to do a whole show yesterday. I don't know what y'all would talk about. Didn't listen. My bad.
It's all right. We talked about all sorts of stuff.
I heard John Anderson doesn't trust Matt LaFleur anymore.
He does not.
He just doesn't trust him in the playoffs.
I don't think he trusts him, period.
That's crazy. The guy keeps getting you to the playoffs.
But right. He said he thinks he's a good coach and a good play caller, but he's not a great head coach.
Okay.
Which is his opinion. And I mean,
so do you have to win a Super Bowl to be a great head coach?
It's his criteria, so I'm not going to answer for him. But I mean,
what do you think? Do you have?
I wouldn't call Matt LaFleur a great head coach.
I think he's a great head coach.
I would like to see him get to a Super Bowl.
Or
I think he's a great offensive mind.
Or is the criteria for great not that? Is the criteria for great is very limited? Because he's not a legend. He's not one of the best to do it. But I think he's a great head coach. If you do it in different areas, I would say he's for sure a top 10 NFL head coach, and arguably you can put him in the top 5.
Okay, let's go to the Carbless Talk at text line 800-990-3776. Any guesses for who's calling to answer a question you had?
Dirty D.
Diana McWanaga, you are up
girl.
on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. What's up, Dirty D?
I thought I had the wrong phone number for a minute. I didn't recognize the voice. I'm like, it's Strouf? I didn't realize. Who is that that's producing?
That's C-Cat. He's our new producer.
Oh, okay.
He moved here from Florida. Diana, before we get to your answer.
Stop. Why did you clear giving this man's information
I'm
out?
just going to say he moved here from Florida. We already said that part. C-Cat, is that okay?
Is he a Miami Hurricanes fan?
He's not. No. We actually went over that already on today's show earlier.
No, I want to ask C-Cat, is that okay that he putting your alias where you were at?
That's okay. That's fine.
Are you sure? You don't have to?
I'm totally fine with it.
Okay.
Fun fact, my girlfriend's name's Diana, Sue.
Oh, wow.
Really? My stepmom's name is Diana.
He's an open book. Well, I know a dirty Diana.
There we go.
Diana.
Are you a Miami Hurricanes fan?
Didn't I just answer this?
Did you hear his answer, Dirty D?
Yeah, no, the husband is a huge Miami Hurricanes fan. That's why I was wondering.
Oh, the husband. Is that what people call their partner?
What's your husband's name, Diana?
Rob.
What does Rob do? Never mind. It's too personal.
He is a boss at an extrusion place. They make medical tubing down in Racine.
And he's a boss.
He's the lead. He's the head, man.
Yes, he is.
Diana, why were you calling? I'm sorry. I got us distracted.
To answer Kyle's question about being able to drink coffee when you're pregnant, you can have caffeine, but it needs to be in moderation.
There it is. See, now if they tell you can't have something and you have to have it in moderation when you're pregnant because it might be bad for the baby, then you probably shouldn't be drinking it all the time. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So you won't drink coffee because women can't drink it when they're pregnant.
If they're telling a human not to consume something during these times, then yeah.
Okay. Kyle, have you ever had alcohol before?
Yes.
Are you aware you're not supposed to drink that when you're pregnant?
Yeah. They also suggest that you don't drink it very often. It's people. Listen. The head of the head of the human health department is not advocating for people to drink alcohol every day.
I guess that's not what I'm not implying you should drink coffee every day. I'm implying you should drink it when you're feeling drowsy and yawning in the middle of our show.
I mean, your comparison is bad. I'm fine.
I don't want you to drink alcohol in the middle of our show. That's not what I said.
No, that I would never do.
Good answer. I'm asking if you would drink caffeine because I'm sick of you yawning when I'm trying to tell you about how excited I am that the Green Bay Packers are going to pick in 3 hours.
No, I stay away from caffeine.
All right, there you have it. I don't know how we got there. I don't know what happened there.
I yawned, remember?
It was nice to learn about Dirty Rob, though.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Dirty Rob introduced to our family here on ESPN Wisconsin.
That's you need to stop asking all these questions about people.
You asked what he did for a living.
Well, that was after she just put his name out there. So I said, well, let's keep digging.
Well, I didn't really feel like referring to him as the husband was very personable. I feel like we know people better than that.
She referred to him as the husband. She said, yeah, the old husband. Or somebody said the old chain and ball, or ball and chain. I was about to say, is that what your dad said to you?
Next.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
What to do at 52? That is the question, and we'll all find out together what Green Bay does. Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Strouf. ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night coming up this Friday. Join me, Steve the Homer Shrew, and Jason Wilde as we take in whatever Green Bay does in the second and third round of the draft on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night, beginning at 6 o'clock on Friday, right here on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. No better place to find out who's up next than ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night this Friday.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Michelle Smallman.
He's Jordan Love. He's Jordan Love. When Aaron Rodgers was upset because instead of getting him a weapon at a certain stage of his career, they went out and planned for the future, there was immediate pressure on Jordan Love to step in and be that guy, to prove the front office right. And Ty Simpson's going to have that at some point. I'm really conflicted on this pick because in the immediacy of it, I was like, that's smart. Matthew Stafford, he's 38. He's entering the last stage of his career. He's still playing at such a high level, and this is a team that's already built to compete for a championship, and they're using this moment to plan for the future. Smart. But then the other part of me is like, but if you know that Matthew Stafford is still playing at an MVP level, why aren't you going all in right now? You've done it already this offseason, shoring up your secondary. You've made moves that tell us that you're ready to win right now. Why not also do that in the draft?
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code VALUE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code VALUE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code VALUE to borrow up to $10,000.
Your local bar could be your ticket to a global stage. Michelob Ultra Soccer Shootout is giving fans the chance to win tickets to the FIFA World Cup 26 at Nomad on Brady this Saturday starting at 1 p.m. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at Puddler's Hall, Maddie's, and New Berlin Entertainment. Your neighborhood, your shot at the world's biggest game. Play for the chance to witness history. Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 26. Enjoy responsibly. 2026 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 plus. Void where prohibited.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Enjoy Ozaki County's premier golf destination, The Bog in Saukville. Featuring 18 championship holes designed by legendary golfer Arnold Palmer, The Bog offers a golf experience unlike any other for all skill levels. But The Bog is more than just golf. It's the perfect setting for corporate events, weddings, and group outings. Our team brings every detail to life. Play the finest greens of Wisconsin, then enjoy a bite to eat in our restaurant or out on our new patio bar overlooking the 18th green. It's time to golf, Wisconsin. It's time to enjoy The Bog.
You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week rolls on. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace, C-Cat with you for a few more minutes on ESPN Madison, sticking with you until 5. ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Beaver Dam. I've had multiple texts come in. Is Kyle pregnant? Given what you were talking about last segment.
Bro, no, I'm not pregnant. But I do want to have a child, and get married after that.
Right, but you wouldn't be the pregnant one.
Dude, but if it's bad for my whole thing is this. If they tell you can't do something when you are pregnant, like drink alcohol or drink coffee when you're pregnant, then maybe, just maybe, it shouldn't matter whether you're pregnant or not. That stuff probably isn't the best stuff to put into your body. That is all I'm saying.
JD and Fondy also chimes in calling you Surgeon General Kyle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Surgeon General. Yeah, you shouldn't smoke cigarettes when you're pregnant, but they let them do that outside of pregnancy.
Okay.
They do.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I try to be healthier.
All right, you've got about 6 minutes left with our ESPN Madison audience. The Packers have pick 52 and pick 84 tonight in the second and third round, respectively, of the 2026 NFL Draft going on out in Pittsburgh. Kyle, where is your mind at for your green and gold tonight?
Yeah, my mind at for the green and gold, I really do believe the Packers have a plethora of options on the board, but I do think the Packers need to go corner inside of the second round, definitely for sure second or third round. And I was looking at some different guys. You don't know how the board is going to fall out, but when you look at the cornerback position, I know you talked about Malik Muhammad, somebody who I think would be a great pick in the second or the third round. But the one person I'm nervous about him, Strouf, but he's a gamer, and sometimes you can't count people out. And maybe it's the fact that I'll remember Ahmad Carroll being undersized and not being able to cover and always getting holding calls. But there is something about D'Angelo Pounds that just makes me just feel Like there's some dog in him. You know what I'm saying? Like the underdog. He tested phenomenally. The only thing that he struggles at is the fact he just doesn't have the height, but he plays spectacular. He has the features that you need in order to be a successful corner in the NFL outside of his height. But just because he's short doesn't mean he can't be successful in the NFL. And I understand he doesn't really match up exactly what Gutey's going to want with a taller cornerback, at least 6 feet, 5'11", 6 feet type guy. But he is just so good. He's so talented, and he could end up being one of those guys like, Tyrann Mathieu, who was undersized, who was small. He fell in the draft, but guess what he did? He balled out and had a great career in the NFL, and I just feel like Pons may have an opportunity to be that. Now, there's some other guys that could go, who are better than him initially, they say based off the rankings, who could potentially fall, but I doubt it. But when I look at what may be available, that is the guy that I'm feeling good about if he's available in the second round, if you're looking cornerback position. But I think if they go corner, that's the guy that they're going to be looking at. But they're going to have their pick at the litter when it comes to this tonight, which is great.
My one issue with D'Angelo Pons is he's more of a nickel corner, which they already feel really good about the guy they have playing in that spot, in Javon Bullard.
Listen, I believe the kid has the ability to be versatile. So
he's small though. I don't know how much he'll be playing outside at the next level.
Again, I just look. There's some players that I think are dogs, and I think he's a dog.
Okay, I guess that's the reasoning we're getting from Kyle Wallace on that one. I would guess it won't be Pons if he's on the board at 52. Maybe if he's there at 84, they take a shot on him, but I wouldn't think it's there. If they go corner, I've said it all along, I really like Malik Muhammad, but he doesn't really fit the measurables that the Packers typically go for at cornerback. Malik Muhammad, 6 foot, 182, so rather slender for his height. The cornerback out of Texas, but really smooth, really good football IQ. Super reliable, not super flashy, but just a reliable corner. And guess what the Packers could use? A reliable corner. So that's a guy I would really like to see them take. Now, I've said this a few times this week, but I know as a fan, right? Like, we're all fans. With your team's first selection in the draft, we remember they did it a few years ago with Jordan Morgan in the first round. Nobody's jumping for joy or going, wow, that's a sexy pick if you go offensive lineman with your first pick of the draft. But if the Packers were to, and they might have to trade up to get this guy, if they traded up for the mullet man, Jennings Dunker, the offensive tackle out of Iowa.
That would be interesting.
The mullet man, 6'5", 319. One of the Mel Kiper's best available offensive tackle on the board. He would fit right in Wisconsin.
He would. I mean, but I don't. If he's available in the second round, which he should be around the time the Packers pick, or at least we assume, yeah. But again, I'm stuck on Pons, and I think he has the versatility. I've seen him play on the outside, and I really think that he's. There's just some guys out there, Strouf, where you count them out based off measurables, and you can't forget that it's not always the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog. And I think D'Angelo Pons, he got a lot of fight in him.
This is your reasoning for picking somebody in the NFL draft?
No, he's good.
It's not the size of the fight in the dog.
Because listen. If he was 6 foot, he'd be a first round type guy, French guy.
Yeah, I mean he's viewed as a really good corner. It's just they love Javon Bullard in the spot he's going to play in the league.
He can play on. He played outside in Indiana. He can play on the outside in the NFL. I understand. You may not believe it, but I think he has an opportunity.
Okay.
Put him in a boundary.
You're the draft expert, Kyle. Did you do a notebook this year or no?
I didn't go as deep in a notebook this year.
Did you do anything in the notebook this year?
Yeah, I mean, I just took my little small notes, mostly looking.
Can we read some of them coming up next hour?
I mean, we can try to read some stuff. It's little small notes that I have.
That's great. I would love to read some of them.
Well, we can go through some of it.
All right, in the 4 o'clock hour of ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, we will dive in to Kyle's draft notebook. Your final thoughts on Brian Gutekunst ahead of the Packers' first 2 picks tonight at pick 52, pick 84 in the second and third round of the NFL draft. 8 picks in total over the course of the next 6 rounds. What do you absolutely want to see the Packers do this weekend? What do you absolutely not want to see the Packers do this weekend? Do you want them to stay away from quarterback? Do you want them to stay away from wide receivers? Is there any position you'd say the Packers shouldn't touch that? And what is the absolute must-draft position tonight for the Packers? Hit us with your responses on that, 800-990-3776 on the Cardinals Target text line, 800-990-ESPN. Coming up next in Madison, you've got Matt and Molly. I heard Jim's out sick. Matt Hamilton, Molly Brand gotcha. We continue with you. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, 94.5 ESPN, 1430 ESPN. It's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week continues right after this.
The accident on 164, north and southbound, all cleared up. Everything's reopened. However, we do have delays through there. It is a Friday after all. We do eastbound have delays from Highway 16 all the way through the 164 area. Back on the brakes from about 70th Street all the way to 35th. Westbound's backed up from 27th all the way to Hawley Road. And then beyond that from about Brookfield Road all the way to Highway 164. Still have that accident on 41 southbound at Silver Spring, though. That's on the left shoulder. Delays coming in from before Good Hope Road all the way past that scene to Capitol Drive. And then we do have the other accident, northbound 94, right at the ramp from Rawson Avenue, off on the left shoulder as well. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 43. Tomorrow, becoming mostly sunny, a high of 58 at the lake, 65 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
When you're getting married, the rings matter. There's something you wear for a lifetime. That's why my fiance and I went to Paul's Jewelers. Paul's Jewelers specializes in custom jewelry for life's biggest moments. Lab-grown or natural diamonds, great pricing, and a lifetime warranty, so your jewelry can be refurbished, repaired, or refitted anytime down the road. Their team made the entire process easy and stress-free. I can't wait to show off my wedding band after our big day. Create your masterpiece today by visiting Paul's Jewelers in West Allis.
Biz Expo is May 21st at Brookfield Conference Center. Attend strategy seminars on topics including business growth, preparing for cyber risks, AI for marketers, and much more. Stay for the lunch and learn on leadership and the cocktails and conversations panel. No suits, no scripts, no slides, just candid insights from leaders who make high-stakes decisions every day. Research the area's top product and service providers. Learn, network, and connect at Biz Expo on May 21st. Go to biztimes.com/bizexpo.
We are the home for all your Bucks coverage. 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. The biggest event of the offseason. Franchise-changing picks.
Green Bay Packers select Aaron Rodgers, quarterback to California.
League-shaking moves.
The Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
The Green Bay Packers select
Just 2 hours away from the start of round 2 of the NFL Draft. Oh, baby, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Where's Homer when we need him?
He did the morning shift today. Or 9 to 12.
He did 9 to noon. He's doing, of course, 5 to 6 coming up next.
Wow, they got both of you guys
and
working
then
hard today.
Me and Homer with you from 6 until the end of the third round. Hopefully around 10 o'clock.
It went by fast yesterday.
Yeah, it did. It did. The move from 10 minutes to 8 minutes per pick helped. Certainly helped.
There was a Tory Lowe on Friday.
You're late. You're late. We're not going to dance. We're not going to have your music.
I just got off my show.
You just got off your show. It's 4:02. Did you have a potty break or what?
Well, I had to take my 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Yo, 3 o'clock.
My 3 o'clock shot.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, the good news is his mic's not on yet, so we're okay.
Okay, well, we got it. We got it here.
We working through it.
Thank y'all for having me.
Tory Lowe, 101.7 The Truth, weekdays from 1 until 4.
1 to 4. Salute.
The Tory Lowe Show.
Love me some Tory Lowe.
Coming off of the Tory Lowe community cleanup, I want to give you a couple minutes to talk about this, and then we'll dive into the Packers and the NFL draft.
The team came together like Voltron.
Hey.
All cylinders was firing on the top level that you can imagine right after a tornado warning.
Yep.
It was a tornado warning that night. So we came out. Salute to everybody that came out. The GKB family came out. Strouf, you came out. You was a warrior.
Thank you, brother.
Kyle Wallace was a warrior. I mean, like I said,
I try.
The team was at the best that you could possibly imagine after having a series of tornado warnings and flooding going on in this
season. So I will give Kyle credit. I'll give myself credit. Pat on the back to me. And, of course, you credit Tory. We were out there, all 3 stops at the Tory. What is this, the 5th annual Tory Lowe Community Club?
Yep, 5th annual.
Over 200 volunteers, 3 locations that went from having garbage in places that shouldn't be to just beautifying our community, which is just such an awesome initiative you do every year.
Tori, did you see Ben Bruss there?
He came at the last location with his daughter.
Did you see him with a picker? Did you see him with a garbage bag? Did you see him with gloves on?
Anything, any utensils or anything like that. But I did see that he did come.
He showed face.
He came and he told me.
Is that worth anything to you?
Wait. What did he tell you? What did he tell you?
He told me this. He said he has his daughter, and that if he was going to do his best to come.
Is Ben Bruss the first person on planet Earth to have a child?
You let him tell it, yeah. What's crazy is we have another great teammate here at GKB who has another son, and his son was probably 2 years old when he was Nick. Remember?
Definitely.
And he has his son, and
his son had a picker.
Yeah, his son had a picker. His son's only 4,
right?
So this is like his son's 3rd year doing it.
And they did an amazing job. Nick and his son, his family.
So my whole point, though, Tori, I know they did a great job. Ben's daughter could have been out there with a picker. He said, she
didn't have gloves. The gloves didn't fit her. Do you think he even tried the gloves on her?
Nah, he didn't try the gloves on. He knew he was showing up to sit down and do nothing.
Last Friday, we're sitting in here on a Tory Love Friday, and Ben's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be out at all 3 stops. Me, Kyle, Strouf, we're all gonna be there." Well, Ben showed up for the last 20 minutes in the gymnasium of the final stop.
Where the food was.
Right.
Yeah. It was time to eat.
Fed his daughter and left. Didn't even stay for the speech. It's crazy.
Well, like I said,
don't make excuses.
One person don't stop the show, but
that's true.
He did show up with his child because he said he had daddy duties. But like I said, I'll let him slide.
Don't let him slide. That's the problem.
That's just me.
Everybody
I can't go
lets
hard
him slide.
I can't.
Everybody lets him slide.
And then when his little daughter looked me in the face, we made those little eyeballs.
Nah.
She's the best. She's the best.
I got to back up off of it.
Now that I can agree with.
Right, because I got a daughter, and then so I know that how hard it is when we have to keep the kids. Do y'all have any kids?
What you mean? No,
I'm just asking because I want
he's
to
doing
make
a thing.
Clear.
He's back. He's backing Ben up, and I don't like it.
No, I'm not backing him up.
I don't like it.
Said sometimes when the wifey or when the mom leaves the kids with dad, we just trying to make sure that we don't mess up.
Oh wow.
Okay, but I can't wait till you get your bundle of joy, and then we gonna have this conversation. You gonna be like, "Yep." I just didn't want, you survived those 2 hours.
Okay, he was dealing with 72 hours.
Rob chimes in on the Cardinals text line, 800-990-3776. He just says, bum Ben Bruss.
He really is. He really is a bum. And then he bitched out. We didn't really talk about it that much. And then the guy does all this talking about the Packers and Gutey's draft, and he's not even here to criticize Gutey. Well, I guess even predict how bad Gutey may do.
Well,
crazy.
I say this: the second round. I mean, you're just there to get the best player available at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
I see. Tori,
I mean, the first round, you probably got some choices.
With potential, but wait a minute. But what about position?
The second round, third round, you just
wait a minute.
Who has the best athletic ability?
So Tori,
who fits the criteria?
So you think the Green Bay Packers are in a position based off their roster to simply just go with best available and not going with the position that they need? You're putting best available
those
positions
needs. That we need somebody to be an impact player that can play. And
you just said
we work on development. We do develop. But I'm just saying, if you're looking for an impact player in the second, third round, I mean, hopefully your scouting team and y'all did a great job of assessing a lot of these players. But what I'm saying is now you just see who's the best person available, and sometimes that's how you got to go. What are you gonna get out of the second, third? Last year I watched it to the 5th round because Deion Sanders' son dropped to the 5th round.
Yeah,
I wonder what the ratings is when it comes to now with the second round, with the third round. I mean, all I'm saying is I think that the Packers right now, maybe they need to.
Who's calling you?
Minister Kevin.
Oh, Minister Kevin. Tell him
he came to the cleanup too as well. So
yeah, he always does.
And he probably got something to tell me, and I don't even want to pick up the phone right now. But like I said, I mean, I think that the Packers right now, we do have needs, but will we find it in the draft?
Yes, I think Packers they should, because every year when you have a draft come in, there's going to be a whole bunch of young kids or young men that are getting drafted yesterday, today, and on Saturday that are going to make an impact on the roster. It is Gutey's job to be able to find those individuals that are going to make an impact on our roster, and I really truly do believe that the Packers are going to be able to find somebody.
Have you ever not believed?
And Gutey?
Yeah.
In the first round?
No, just in general.
Yeah. Me and Gutey have. Remember, I had a rocky relationship with Gutey. He was making me very, very upset. All those.
Don't you have a rocky relationship with everybody?
No, not true.
Some days
you find a way to get right.
Some days you're happy.
No,
thank you.
Some days you're happy with.
Not
Whoa.
Well, no, hold on.
He said not really.
I'm not talking personal relationships. I'm talking
with sports.
Yeah, it seems like some days you're high on somebody and some days you're low on somebody. That's why we call you the flip flopper.
I love the Packers all the time, but Gutey's draft classes initially gave me cause for concern. Now, he has been able to turn it around and cook outside of the first round, which I'm happy about. And so that really turned it around for me. But then in addition to that, his ability to go ahead and get Micah Parsons, the ability to sign Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs, like those were great. So despite him missing with Nate Hobbs and Aaron Banks, me and Gutey cool because instead of hanging on to Nate Hobbs, he got rid of him. Like that's exactly when you make that mistake, you get rid of somebody. And he did that.
Well, the thing is with the Packers, they're going to try to put a good product on the field. We blessed because we do put good product on the field. Now, does it escalate to Super Bowl wins? We still trying to get that fixed. But I think that the Packers, the farm system that they have, we usually develop players pretty well. We usually do a good job of developing our players.
Yeah, we do a pretty decent job. And so, but for me, when I'm looking at this draft, I think it's so important because you don't have a first-round pick for Gutey to get it right. And recently he has gotten right in the second round. But I've been saying this entire week, Tori, I think this draft can help put the Packers in the position where you're talking about NFC Championship game and competing for Super Bowls. And I say that because if you hit it right in your second and your third round and find guys by week 6 to week 8 that are going to be guys that you say, well, we got to get them on the field, right? We got to play them. Remember, the Edgerrin Cooper, we got to play him. We saw some potential with Javon Bullock. We said, ooh, Evan Williams got something. Look at Jaden Reed. If you can find those type of guys in the second and third round, that can be the difference between the Packers having another wild card exit and the Packers knocking on the door and going to a Super Bowl this year. I am that confident. And if the Packers swing and they hit it right with the defensive line or the edge this year, they can find themselves playing in the Super Bowl. If the Packers hit it right and they find themselves a lockdown corner or a corner that can compete with the likes of a Justin Jefferson, the likes of a St. Brown, like if they have a guy that can compete with those guys, then you're in a good position. But I don't think the Packers are that far off. You're talking about legitimately 3 positions where if the Packers get better at, they could be potentially playing in the Super Bowl. If they got an edge rusher that can create some type of pressure or an edge rusher that one-on-one, he's going to win a lot of those battles, then the Packers are in a lot better position because you have Micah Parsons across from him.
Well, when you get out of the first round, maybe you can catch somebody that fell to the second round. It may be some gems in there.
We're just so far. I mean, you got to find, because we're not with the pick 52, you're so far down.
It could be a gem in there. But like I said, this is where Gutey, you have to trust the system that they have. I'll say this.
Do you trust it?
I do trust the Packers system because in the last, 30 years, I always look forward to seeing the Packers play. The product on the field has always been competitive. So I'll say this. I think that right now we have to make sure either we're drafting for development. I think that at this point we may be drafting to develop somebody.
But I don't think we're in a position
because we're not going to get nobody that's ready to come in and crash on the defensive side, or at least as a defensive end.
I think that because me and Strouf were talking about it before, and Gabe was with it earlier this week. I think our expectations for the second-round pick are entirely too low. Tori, I don't know if you...
Go right ahead.
Tori, because I think when you look at the past draft classes for the Green Bay Packers and you look at who we drafted in the past in the second round, Gutey has done a really good job drafting guys in the second round. When you look at last year, yes, Anthony Belton had a lot of room to grow, but he started for you last year. He wasn't a game record, but he started for you last year. You look at Edgerrin Cooper and Javon Bullock. You like those two guys?
Yeah.
They got a lot of potential. Luke Musgrave and Jaden Reed, one of those two guys you really like, I know that. And then in the second round, you remember a guy named Christian Watson?
Yep.
Yeah, that's another guy got in the second round. Josh Meyer started for the Packers, though he's not on our team. He still started for the Packers. And then, before that, now you're talking about A.J. Dillon and then Elton Jenkins. So when you look at most of the second-round picks that he has had, those guys have been able to make impacts on this roster, and most of these guys, year one, showed you something. And so I expect for us to find a guy year one that's going to show you something since you do not have a first-round pick.
Here we go.
Stroufy,
what you think about who you think is available that could possibly
I just want a corner.
An impact? Yeah.
Corner. I don't care who it is. I just want a corner.
Okay, Tori.
You could probably find a corner in what's left over.
You should be able to.
We have some breaking news from Adam Schefter, ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting.
Aaron Rodgers.
Not Aaron Rodgers. The Green Bay Packers and wide receiver
Christian Watson.
Jaden Reed have agreed to a 3-year contract extension worth $50 million.
Yeah.
$50 million in new money.
Show me the money.
That's my boy. I tell you, that's my boy, Jay.
Show me the money.
3 years,
That's what I'm talking
$50
about.
million.
That's a steal. That's a steal.
Including $20 million guaranteed.
That's a steal.
Oh, that's what's up.
$50.25 million over 3 years. That is an average of over just short of $17 million per year. Tori,
That's
thank
a
you.
good deal.
Oh,
That's a good deal.
No, come on now. You don't see
a lot of money. What does that mean for Christian Watson? What does that mean for the Packers wide receiving core? We will dive into the breaking news. We will dive into Jaden Reed, new contract with the Green Bay Packers. That is next. ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
We do have an accident southbound on 41 at Silver Spring, still on the left shoulder. Delays coming in from well before Good Hope Road, all the way down past the accident scene to Capitol Drive. Northbound's backed up before Mayfair Road, all the way up to Silver Spring. Southbound 43, also a hefty ride just south of Silver Spring, all the way down through the Marquette and onto the high-rise bridge, with the northbound side backing up out of the Marquette to North Avenue. Rates change, needs change. Great Midwest Bank can help you explore a refinance that better fits where you are today. Visit greatmidwestbank.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 43. Tomorrow becoming mostly sunny, a high of 58 at the lake, 65 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
We're not trying to get from A to B. We're trying to get from A to SB, as in the Super Bowl.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hey, better. Swing into Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee for the $300,000 Big League Series. Just play with your rewards card over 3 months to earn entries. Here's the lineup. Leading off April, on deck May, in the hole June. All monthly entries you earn will roll into drawings on Friday, June 26th, where you could win cash, free play, or one of 3 new Toyota vehicles. It's the $300,000 Big League Series, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
When Milwaukee families need help, the United Way is there, reducing barriers to employment, providing transportation, safe and stable homes, and more for over 192,000 people.
And this month, Gudekunst is proud to stand beside them. Hi, I'm Bill Eater with Gudekunst of Milwaukee.
And I am Tony Avery with the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County. During the Gudekunst Drives Milwaukee 1000 event, they're donating $100 to the United Way for every vehicle sold.
Our goal this month is simple: 1,000 vehicles across 3 Gudekunst Milwaukee dealerships.
For a $100,000 donation to the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County.
To help us reach our goal, you'll find incredible deals on all new and pre-owned vehicles at our 3 locations in Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Hope Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall.
Be a part of Driving Milwaukee Forward at the Gudekunst Drives Milwaukee 1000 event.
Start your search today at CunisMKE.com. That's CunisMKE.com.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this, and Summit Credit Union's got you.
When you work smart, incredible things can happen. By joining Smart 18, the union for Wisconsin sheet metal workers, you'll open the door to a brighter future. You'll learn and earn more. Enjoy awesome benefits across the board. Build a great career and feel empowered and supported every step of the way. The smartest career decision you'll ever make starts with Smart 18. Find out more today at smart18info.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week reacting to the breaking news. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace with you here on ESPN Wisconsin. Adam Schefter, ESPN NFL Insider, reporting wide receiver Jaden Reed and the Green Bay Packers agreed to a 3-year contract extension worth $50.25 million in new money, including $20 million guaranteed, locking up Jaden Reed for the next 4 seasons in Green Bay, 26, 27, 28, and 29.
We going to the bowl, bruh. We going to the bowl.
That is an annual average salary of $16.75 million, just about $250,000 a year less than what Romeo Doubs got from the New England Patriots, average $17 million a year.
Makes it even bigger of a steal.
So there's so many things off of this. Number one, I love Jaden Reed. I've been on the Jaden Reed bandwagon since the minute he was drafted out of Michigan State after seeing him catch and throw a touchdown against Wisconsin a few years ago.
He destroyed us. I didn't like the kid at that point until he got drafted by us.
And he has been a really fun player for this Packers receiving core.
I don't like the way you set this up.
Under Jordan Love.
I don't like this. This sounds like you about to poo-poo on Jaden Reed right now. It's about a bud is coming.
I don't think there's a butt coming.
Okay.
Just let me roll here. We'll be okay. We'll get there.
Okay.
Jaden Reed obviously missing a lot of time last season with that broken collarbone, and he's an impact player. I guess if there is a but, I think in a lot of our minds, he's not the number one wide receiver of the future for Green Bay. That's either Matthew Golden or the guy who now we await to see if he gets a contract extension entering the final year of his deal, in Christian Watson, who's going to be worth more money than Jaden Reed. But I think all offseason, we've all been operating under the idea of they'd like to bring back Kraft, Watson, and Reed, but it seems like it might be a little tricky to bring in all three of them, bring back all three of them after the 2026 season.
Yeah.
So with this Reed extension, my head goes to naturally, so what does that mean for Christian Watson?
I mean, again, that is something that we're very curious about. And I think the Jaden Reed deal is a little easier to get, where Christian Watson, I think a lot of us are thinking he's going to command at least $25 million. I know a lot of people have looked at that Alec Pierce comp and saying both speedy wide receivers who can stretch the field, can have big plays, splash plays. Alec Pierce has just been healthier and actually, has been a better receiver than Christian Watson. But a lot of people are thinking he's going to start, his yearly salary is going to start with a 2. And so if it is going to start with a 2, I just don't see the Green Bay Packers having the ability to invest $20 million plus in Watson, $16 million in Reed, and probably another $15 million in Tucker Kraft. I just don't see the guys locking up $40 million, $50 million per year in salaries of 3 guys. I mean, would I love it? Yeah. But I think what we see now is when you look towards the future, I think the future is going to look like, and again, Christian Watson still could sign because you never know what he's going to, what could happen. But if it is Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, and Tucker Kraft, and now you're looking at, okay, who's going to be that third guy? Will it be Savion Williams? Will it be somebody that we draft in the 7th round this year? Will it be somebody we draft in the 2027 draft? But I think the biggest thing right now is this doesn't leave Christian in a great position. But again, you never know. You never know what Gutey cooking up. Because Gutey been working. While we weren't having a draft pick yesterday, Gutey was working the phone with Drew Rosenhaus. I believe that's the agent of Jaden Reed, if it still is. He was working the phone.
The Green Bay Packers are consistent. You don't get a second contract unless you earn a second contract. And from what we've seen the last 3 seasons from Jaden Reed is he's earned a second contract. He's been a really good player for this team. He's been a really good weapon for Jordan Love in his 3 years as a starter. When Jordan Love became the starter, Jaden Reed was a rookie, and they've been able to build up their careers together. They've made the playoffs all 3 years together. Jaden Reed was the leading receiver on this team the first 2 years. His rookie year and his second year obviously wasn't this past year, but missed a lot of the season due to a collarbone injury. You don't get second contracts in Green Bay unless you really earn a second contract in Green Bay, and that's what this is for Jaden Reed. Want to get your reaction on this, 800-990-3776. What does this mean for Christian Watson? Are you happy with this signing for Jaden Reed? One of the first of several dominoes that could come between now and maybe mid-season for Green Bay. A lot of guys entering the final year of their contract, which included Reed, no longer includes Reed, includes Watson, includes Tucker Kraft, includes Devontae Wyatt on the defensive side. A lot of decisions to be made for Green Bay. beyond the 2026 season for a lot of these guys, but the first decision is made, and that is Jaden Reed. Big fan of this. Big fan of Jaden Reed and what he's been able to do with Jordan Love in this Green Bay offense. Is he a true number one receiver? I don't think so. But the good news is you can still sign Christian Watson. You still have Matthew Golden for the next 3 years under contract. You're likely going to extend Tucker Kraft. He's just going to be one of the many pieces that can beat you in a lot of different ways for this Packers offense. I'm really happy with the signing.
Okay, so the whole we don't think he's a number one wide receiver. Why? What quantifies a number one wide receiver in your book?
Production and ceiling.
And what about his production when he was healthy, which he has not been significantly healthy? He wasn't healthy last year.
Well, this past year he wasn't.
And then I feel like in 2024 there were some things that he was dealing with. I know he fell off the map, but I feel like there was at some point
he was dealing with some injuries, but he played all 17 games.
And so what about him where a guy who has 55 catches, which he needs to have more catches, but 857 yards and 6 touchdowns, what makes in his second season, what makes you think that he can't break to get
Start naming number one receivers in the league. I mean, they're all going to have something in common.
Dude, like then if that's the case, the Packers don't have a number one wide receiver on the roster. If we're talking about if you're talking about they have to be the likes of Amon-Ra St. Brown.
The one argument I'd make is Christian Watson would have been on that trajectory if he played the full season last year. 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns.
If he played the full season, again, but what we know is that we haven't seen Christian Watson play a full season. I don't think Christian Watson, he's not in the same breath as a Justin Jefferson, but I based off what you're telling me is that it needs to be a Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown type guy in order to be a real number one wide receiver. Like, I mean, there's tiers to number one wide receivers. You don't have to be an elite wide receiver to be considered a number one. You can be a really good wide receiver and be a number one. Would you consider Alec Pearson number one wide receiver?
Who's the best wide receiver on the Packers roster?
The best receiver on the Packers roster? I'd say Christian Watson.
Then Jaden Reed isn't your number one receiver.
But you said you don't think he can be a number one wide receiver. Where I
just don't think he's going to be dominant. He's never going to be dominant to the likes of Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
None of them are. Nobody on this roster is going to be in that type of conversation. Who's been the most consistent wide receiver on this roster?
I think you could make the argument for Romeo Doubs.
He's not on this roster.
Well, not anymore.
But
I'm saying during Jaden Reed's career and tenure.
Who's the most consistent receiver on this roster?
I'd go with Jaden Reed.
Okay, then. So that's what I'm saying.
I'm happy with the signing.
I know, but maybe because we signed him, he agreed to be a Packer backer for the next 4 seasons. But for me, when I think about it, is I'm looking at you saying that you don't think he can be a number one wide receiver when a guy was 150 yards away from getting to 1,000 yards during the second season, where he had some moments where he fell off a little bit.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
In his rookie year, he was 207 yards away from getting to 1,000 yards, something that the Green Bay Packers haven't seen since Devontae Adams. He was your leading receiver for 2 seasons in his first 2 years. Yeah. You're supposed to grow. And this season, we don't know. He only had 19 catches and 207 yards because he was injured. But the play he got injured on was a cold play.
It was, yeah. Unfortunately, it was out of bounds.
And he was playing hurt. No. He was not out of bounds. There was a holding penalty on that negated the touchdown. It was a holding call.
That was the Commander's game on Thursday Night Football.
It was in bounds. It was a holding call.
I was at that game.
Me
so
too.
I may have missed that. Yeah, you were. Regardless.
Invited by a Commander's. Remember the whole
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, again, you're doing the thing where you're getting yourself worked up.
No,
I've never once said he's a bad receiver.
Okay.
I'm happy with the signing.
Maybe you saying something that I didn't feel like you were giving him enough positivity. So maybe you didn't say anything wrong or negative.
Kyle, hold on. I'm going to say something, and it's not going to be a controversial opinion.
Arguing with myself?
I don't know that Donald Driver was ever a number one receiver.
Oh, he was.
But he was a really productive receiver for a really long time for Green Bay.
Oh, Donald Driver was a number one wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers.
Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson.
When you go for I think Donald's best season, he probably went for 1,200 yards. When you have seasons like that, you are a number one wide receiver. Donald, I know you're a little bit younger. Donald Driver was a dog.
I know he was a dog.
No. Like, Donald Driver was
And I think Jaden Reed is a dog, but I think they're going to need a number one option more so than him, and maybe that's Christian Watson. Maybe he's the next domino to fall this offseason for Green Bay. This is really good news for Green Bay. Locking up Jaden Reed through the 2029 season. They get him at a good price point, by the way, as well.
That's what I'm
3
saying.
years, just a touch over $50 million. It's just short of $17 million a season. He's cheaper than Romeo Doubs, the contract he signed in New England.
Your potential top 2 pass catchers, never know what's going to happen with Matthew Golden, and we really are high on Matthew Golden. But if you do move on from Christian Watson and you give it sticks to Tucker Kraft, your best 2 pass catchers are going to be coming in at like $30 million a year. That's phenomenal. Maybe a little over $30 million a year. That is great for elite teams or where you want to go. That's great. This is a great deal, especially in a time where these wide receivers are getting paid $23, $24, $25 million. When you look at some of the guys that have signed for $20-some million, I would take Jaden Reed over a lot of those guys. So, again, when you look at what we got him for, Gutey and Russ Ball did a great job. They did a great job in locking this guy up because I do believe Jaden Reed has the potential to be a 1,000-yard wide receiver. So this is a good day for the Packers. And what it does is it gives you confidence for the future. We're talking about today what the Packers need to draft. Well, you don't really need to draft a wide receiver early because you locked in one of your guys.
Another thing I wonder, though, Kyle, is what is the priority order for the Green Bay Packers this offseason? I just mentioned 3 guys that are weapons for an up-and-coming quarterback in Jordan Love that are all free agents. Well, no longer. Jaden Reed now has his deal. We're all going to be free agents in theory after the 2026 season. Tucker Kraft is in the final year of his deal.
Yep.
Christian Watson entering the final year of his deal. Jaden Reed now gets his money. He's the first of those dominoes to fall. But if I'm the Packers, I'm thinking priority 1 should be Tucker Kraft, priority 2 should be Christian Watson, priority 3 should be Jaden Reed, and that's nothing against Jaden Reed. It almost seems like they're working in reverse order now.
No, I think you basically look in because you evaluate what can we get these guys for. If you understand that we can, we don't know what Christian's top dollar is going to be. It's going to be a little bit more negotiating. We probably have a better idea for Tucker Kraft because the tight end market is much different than what the wide receiver market is. If you know you can get a guy locked in, you don't work in, we're going to do this first, this. You say, this is the pot of money we have. We want to get all these 3 guys, but let's start these conversations and let's talk to them. Let's figure out what we want to do all at the same time because you have the ability to do that. You work a full-time job. Like you have the ability to reach out and negotiate and figure things out, and you know what our numbers are. They go in this and they say, we want to give Christian, you know what, for Christian Watson, maybe you want to top out at $22 million a year max. Like that is what we're looking at for the max when we go into these negotiations and we come in at like 18. For Jaden Reed, we probably come in at like a $13 million and we know what our top dollar is maybe $18 million a year. Like you already know what that is and you work that out as you get ready to map out what this is going to look like. So you don't need to work 1, 2, 3. You work all 3 in unison together.
Let's get to your phone calls on reaction. Jaden Reed, 3-year extension in Green Bay, links him with the Packers through the 2029 season. Let's start in Random Lake. Ben in Random Lake, you are on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, what's up, guys? First off, that was a hell of a good signing. Finally, something done by Gutey, right? Jaden Reed's a hell of a receiver, and he's going to do an amazing job for us. So, great job. I agree with you guys. Both Kraft and Watson have to be number 1 targets in your upcoming negotiations. You can't just sit there idly and say, well, we'll talk to this guy first. You got to talk to both of them. But I'm going to go on to the draft right now. Okay, the Packers got to get smart, and even though you may have fixed up Aaron Banks' contract, that doesn't make him untradeable. And the Packers may be able to gain another draft pick by trading with, let's say, a Miami Dolphins who have a plethora of 3rd-round picks. So then let's say you move him, right, and you want to keep Sean Ryan at center, fine, so be it. And if not, then you can try to draft a guy like Connor Lew. But this draft pick, this upcoming pick, you have to draft a guy like Jennings Dunker who can play both guard, which is his better position, and tackle.
So you think second round with him?
You're going to have to. I mean, think about this. Okay. How many concussions and injuries has Jordan Love sustained due to the offensive line's woes? And then you're talking, you got to go after another defensive end because, guys, I'm going to be blunt. I don't trust Lucas Van Ness. I don't trust Colin Oliver. I like Barron Sorrell. I think he's going to take a next step up, and we're still waiting for Parsons to come back. There's a guy I like in Ohio State named Caden Curry. That's another guy you could get. You guys are also talking about, well, you don't really need to address wide receiver. I don't trust Savion Williams at all. The guy's small, and they had him at running back last year. There's a guy out of North Dakota State University that I love in Bryce Lance, who's 6'2", 205 pounds.
The baby brother,
and if you guys are now, the other one I want to talk about as well, guys, is this: you're talking tight end might be a problem that we have to look at. People are forgetting we also have Dr. Wiley and Josh Wiley on the team. Josh Wiley showed that he's a dog. He can work, and he puts in the effort, and that's all you need out of that guy. For a 3rd tight end, that's pretty solid. And Fitzpatrick's coming back. And Musgrave has just been an absolute average at best tight end for this team. And
I'm sweet on Musgrave.
So,
look, there's a lot to be done, Ben. We appreciate the call here on ESPN Wisconsin Draft
stuff.
He was getting into it there.
He knows his guys.
Now, Jennings Dunker is obviously, I mentioned, that's the offensive lineman I think Packers fans would get psyched about because he just feels like a
Can
Packer.
I say that I think that he actually when it comes to him, I think he's going to be good in the NFL.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, so I mean, if the Packers did draft him, even though I don't really want to. I don't want an offensive lineman in the second round.
Well, you need competition, so I don't hate the idea, but it's just it's just not sexy when you've been waiting a full day and a half just to get your first pick.
If you really
want something sexy, give me a corner, give me a tight end, give me something that gets the juices flowing. If it's Jennings Dunker, that'll get the beers flowing. I'll tell you that right now.
With the flow of the hair, but I just think it'd be interesting because of the fact that if you draft a guy like him, right, who. You know, if you put him at guard or you put him at tackle, he's not replacing Aaron Banks right away because Aaron Banks is going to be here this year and for sure probably next year. And if you're talking about competing, that means he's going to, unseat either your second round pick in Anthony Belton last year or your first round pick a couple of years ago in Jordan Morgan. So I just when I look at the offensive line, it should be more about getting some depth pieces than guys that can start right away.
Levi, in Stevens Point, you were on the Cardinals Talking text line. Go ahead, Levi.
Hey, what's up, boys? This is a great day.
Yeah, how long were you waiting, Levi?
19 and a half minutes. I'm not complaining, man.
Oh, Strouf, why?
What do you mean?
Why'd you make him wait so long?
I feel like it's nothing.
Wait. Time out. You know he did not do nothing wrong. Come on,
You know what? I'm not defending any other of our fans and callers ever. Because every time I defend y'all for I deem to be something that y'all shouldn't have to deal with, y'all jump to these defense of these mean hosts, Ben and Strouf.
Ben makes him wait 2.5 hours.
And you shouldn't be making him wait 19 minutes.
Okay. May I make my point quick? Because I know you guys got to get the break soon.
You sure do breaks.
I just want to say... Anyway, I'm happy about Jaden Reed signing. That is great by Gutey. I'm really proud of that. But for the draft tonight, I really hope he could get a cornerback in the second round because I don't know who's good. Like the top three guys two of them are from Tennessee. I don't know. I really hope they get a cornerback tonight. But
yeah, I'm with you on that, Levi. We appreciate the call and sorry for making you wait for hours and hours and days even to get on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. That's my bad. Won't happen again. The big news is Jaden Reed is the first of the Packers' impending free agents next offseason to get the contract extension. It's a 3-year, $50.25 million deal for Jaden Reed. We wonder what comes next now. Is it Tucker Kraft? Is it Christian Watson? Will they let Watson walk? A lot of questions now. Will the Packers draft a wide receiver this weekend? Does that impact the draft thought as that comes down in the middle of all of this? We will dive into all of that and more with you for about another 20 minutes ahead of the Homer Hour and ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night as the Packers about 2 hours away from making their first selection in the 2026 NFL Draft at pick number 52. Before we get to break, it's a Friday, which means it is a frozen pizza Friday from our friends at Palermo's. Kyle, you love Palermo's. I love Palermo's.
I sure do.
Everybody loves Palermo's. And because we love Palermo so much, we're going to hook you up with Palermo's. Caller 15 right now on the Cardinals Talking text line gets a Palermo's prize pack. It's a celebratory Frozen Pizza Friday. Reed's extended, you get pizza on a Frozen Pizza Friday. Caller 15 right now, 800-990-3776 gets a Palermo's Pizza prize pack. Caller 15, 800-990-3776. You're caller 15, you get a Palermo's Pizza Frozen Pizza Friday prize pack. It's that simple. Just for listening to us, getting ready for Draft Night 2 with us. Caller 15 right now, 800-990-3776. More reaction, more draft talk next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week.
Southbound on 41, we are seeing delays from before Good Hope Road all the way past Capitol Drive. That accident at Silver Spring finally gone. Northbound's backed up from Watertown Plank Road all the way up to Silver Spring. We've got eastbound 94, kind of a heavy ride from just before Highway 164 past Barker, back on the brakes from 76th Street all the way through to 35th. The westbound side slow from 35th to Hawley Road, back on the brakes between Highway 100 and the county line. and more delays just west of Highway 16, pretty much about a mile west of County Highway SS. We have the left shoulder blocked with a crash, so we do have delays out to that point. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 43. Tomorrow, becoming mostly sunny, a high of 58 at the lake, 65 inland. Weather is brought to you by Lake Lawn Resort. Spring is here. Escape to Lake Lawn Resort in the Geneva Lakes region. Enjoy lakeside dining, golf, spa, and more. Plan your getaway at lakelawnresort.com. Everything's better at the lake. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazagon, 94.5 ESPN.
Heading to Milwaukee's east side, make Veer North your first stop. Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Alex Strouf. Here to tell you at Veer North you can catch the big game, hop on a shuttle to the stadium, or hang out for live music all summer long. Elevated food, craft drinks, and a packed event lineup. Veer North knows how to keep the energy going as the weather starts to warm up. Close to Fiserv Forum, Summerfest, and UWM. It's the perfect place to pregame, postgame, or just stay for the whole thing. Veer North, right where Milwaukee comes together.
Got your tax refund? Before it mysteriously disappears, invested in something you'll actually see every day. Your home. At Exterior Pros and Baths, turn that refund into energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel. And they'll take it even further with $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during the April savings event. But don't wait, this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
How are things at Kessler's Greenfield, Kelly?
Fantastic. I heard you have an idea for springtime.
I love spring.
I have a big collection of new life to show you.
New life is a spring thing.
Show us. I call it crosses and clovers.
These are amazing.
Well done, Kelly.
These are stunningly unique.
Kelly, the surface of this 4-leaf clover is fantastic. What's it made of?
Sarah, the surface of that lucky 4-leaf clover is made of crushed black diamonds.
Wow. I'm buying this one. How much?
$185. In yellow gold vermeil, it's just $270. This cross, $90.
And these initials pendants?
These are $60.
Clovers, crosses, and personalized pendants.
And a leprechaun that says they're magically delicious.
Sarah, that's a breakfast cereal.
Kelly, you've done well.
Extremely well.
Extremely very well. Happy springtime, everyone.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. The Packers will make their first selection, or two, or three, or one, or we'll all find out together.
Exciting day.
At least scheduled to pick at pick 52 and 84 tonight in the second and third rounds of the NFL Draft out in Pittsburgh. But the big news is Jaden Reed, a contract extension on night 2 of the NFL Draft. 3-year, $50.25 million extension for Jaden Reed.
You're not excited enough, man. I can feel the energy that you're happy.
I think this is a bargain. I think it's a steal. I think it's a good day for the Green Bay Packers.
You're just thinking about Christian Watson.
Actually, it's more so Tucker Kraft.
What do you think about Tucker Kraft for? Tucker Kraft may get the same or less money.
Oh, what are you talking about?
You should look at the tight end market, buddy.
He's going to be the highest paid tight end in football, I would guess.
Whoa. No, he won't be. He's not. Listen, we can like Tucker Kraft, but Tucker Kraft is not in the vicinity of Trey McBride.
Trey McBride makes how much?
Trey McBride makes, I think, $18 million a year.
Yeah, that seems all right.
No. Trey McBride just got paid. I want to say last
year.
Yeah.
What happens every year, Kyle? Cap goes up, markets go up.
No. But Trey McBride's production is in a whole nother hemisphere than what Tucker Kraft.
But he's older than
Tucker Kraft. You don't just no. Trey McBride makes $19 million a year. It goes George Kittle at 19, Trey McBride at 19, and then the next person is a person that just signed his Kyle Pitts. He just signed the 1 year, whatever it's called.
Franchise
tag. Thank you. At $15 million a year. And then it drops down to Isaiah Likely, who just got paid this offseason at $13.3 million. He's not Mark Andrews, Dalton Schultz, Cole Kmet, Jake Ferguson. Like, his production has not been on the level of Jake Ferguson. I'm telling you this right now. He's going to get probably max $15 million. He's not if you put their careers side by side, Jake Ferguson has had a more productive NFL career.
I promise you that Tucker Kraft will be a top 3 paid tight end.
So you think so you're saying
any agent that doesn't make him a top 3 paid tight end in the league should be fired on the spot.
Top 3 would put, so I can see $15 million a year.
Higher than that.
That's tough for me. Only because the production, yes, Tucker is good. He's coming off an ACL injury. He hasn't had over 1,000 yards. I don't think the most he's had in the season, 600-some yards?
Hand him a blank check, Kyle.
Okay, now
he's that important to this offense. We saw what happened to them after he went down.
I want to be nice to you, Strouf, but you're 700 yards the most he had in a season. Again, I'm a big fan of Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft would have had over 1,000 yards this year had he not gone down.
I am not saying he wouldn't have had that, but he did not have that. And again, you pay guys based off what they're going to do in the future. And I think paying Tucker Kraft to give him $15 million a year, which will make him one of the highest paid tight ends in NFL history. I think because we're Packers fans, we're overinflating what we should be paying this guy. Again, Jake Ferguson has been a much more productive tight end in his NFL career than what Tucker Kraft has been. And so when I'm looking at how much we should be paying Tucker Kraft, I would love to pay Tucker Kraft a lot of money, but at the end of the day, you can't give out blank checks. That's irresponsible. That's financially irresponsible. Matter of fact, you say I'm dropping nuggets, take this one. Strouf, don't you ever write a blank check to anybody. Don't ever do that. Anytime as you plan this wedding, don't you just call one person. I got a photographer for you. Don't you just call one company. You call multiple companies. Don't you just say, okay, cool. No, you never say.
Yeah, but of the 3 guys, Reed, Watson, and Kraft, there's one blank check guy.
No, he's not a blank check.
It's Tucker Kraft.
No, that's irresponsible because you have a whole 53-man roster you need to put together. I understand we love Tucker Kraft, and he's not going to command $19 million. He's not in the same breath.
It might not be 19, but it'll be 17 and a half.
That will be on the high end. I think it'll be more than 15. I think it'll be more 15.
I'd be shocked.
Why would you be shocked?
Because that'd be the bargain that'd be the steal of the century.
No, I think you think you're rating him based off what you think pass catchers get. That's not tight ends get less.
I understand that. You just said the highest paid tight end in the league is $19 million, and Tucker Kraft is going to come close to that.
The highest paid tight end in the league is one of the best pass catchers in the NFL.
I understand that.
Tucker Kraft is not that. Again, last July, Jake Ferguson got 4 years, $52 million. And Jake Ferguson is one of the better tight ends in the NFL.
Yes, and Tucker Kraft is significantly better than him.
You can say that, but Tucker Kraft hasn't put together more seasons better than what Jake Ferguson has. He hasn't.
Well, that wouldn't have been the case this year, and you know that.
And Jake Ferguson, I think it's a pretty good comp. Jake Ferguson got 700 yards and 494 yards, so they very similar seasons, and Jake Ferguson got $13 million. That's why I'm thinking it's $15 million for Tucker Kraft. And if it gets more, whatever, it is what it is. But I think we need to. He's not George Kittle. He's not Trey McBride. Hell, he's not even Kyle Pitts currently right now. But I'll take him over Kyle Pitts. But I'm just saying, Kyle Pitts, though he can't.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
You just compared Tucker Kraft to Jake Ferguson, who had 600 yards flat this season.
No, he didn't. He had more than that.
600.
He had 600 flat this year?
He had 600 yards.
He must have been hurt.
Tucker Kraft had 489 in 8 games.
Jake Ferguson must have got hurt this year. Ain't no way Jake Ferguson, he didn't miss no games.
Tucker Kraft had 489 yards in 8 games.
I understand.
And 6 touchdowns.
I take him over that, but I'm just saying.
Tucker Kraft is one of the best tight ends in football.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree he's going to be
And he's going to be paid as one of the highest paid tight ends in football.
But you're basing that based off what? His overall production that you've seen on paper, or you're based off the future?
Just like second contracts always go. Production and potential.
Okay. All right.
Tucker Kraft will be close to $20 million.
All right.
You're not getting a bargain on Tucker Kraft. His agent will be fired if that's the case.
No, again, now it makes it seem like I'm low on Tucker Kraft when I am extremely high on Tucker Kraft.
I don't think you're low. I think you're just wrong.
No, I don't. Tucker Kraft is not getting the money that a Trey McBride and George Kittle got. Like he's not getting that. That's what I'm trying to get through your mind. Is that yes, you think he's worth a lot of money, but I think you're looking at what wide receivers get paid. You're talking about paying $20 million to a guy that's never had 1,000 yards in a season. You're talking about $20 million to a guy that's never had 80 catches in a season. You just don't do that. You don't.
I have bad news. You have to make a decision
at that position. Tucker Kraft.
So you're letting him walk?
If Tucker Kraft ain't getting that money from nobody.
That's not true.
He's not getting $20 million for any. He's not getting $19 million for anybody. Now, if Tucker Kraft goes off this season, then obviously that changes the conversation. If he's if he's getting Trey McBride numbers where he has 100+ catches in a season, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, and then the conversation changes. But if a guy who like Trey McBride is getting $19 million a year, you think he's gonna get 19? Hell no. Hell no.
Ben V chimes in. Sorry, Kyle, you're wrong. Tucker Kraft will get top 3 money. Dave from Aaron, you need to give Tucker good money now to save you money in the future. That I agree with.
$15 million is good money. That's what people need to understand. A year ago, Trey McBride signed for 4 years, $76 million. Yep. A year ago, in the production, Trey McBride.
Totally there.
I understand the salary cap goes up, but it ain't. These people, they project this as well. Elite tight ends get that money. Tucker Kraft has not proven to be an elite tight end quite yet. He's a really good tight end. Remember before last year, I said he could be that all-pro for the Green Bay Packers. When y'all asked me who's going to be all-pros, I thought he could be an all-pro. I thought he could be a top 2, top 3 wide tight end. But at the end of the day, he got hurt. And at the end of the day, we can only go based off what we've seen. Coming off an ACL injury, you're going to pay a guy to be $19 million a year? No, that's not happening. It's not.
We'll get to your phone calls as we wrap up ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week ahead of the Homer Hour. Coming up right after this.
More coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Turio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
An epic Brewers-Pirates series is coming April 24th through the 26th. Kick it off with Star Wars Night on Friday the 24th. And check out a post-game laser show presented by ESPN Milwaukee. Then on Saturday the 25th, get a Brewers Windbreaker giveaway courtesy of Courts. Wrap up the series with Family Sunday fun and kids cheer free. Plus, the first 5,000 kids take home an Abner Uribe poster. Grab a seat at Brewers.com.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Take it home this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. $300,000 is on the line, and you're at bat to win your share. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Plus, your April drawing entries all count toward another prize drawing in June. It's the Base Race Game Show. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
You ever notice that some people are picky when it comes to their beer? But Yuengling gets it. That's why they brew a beer for every taste. Start with a legend, a Yuengling traditional lager, a smooth amber lager that's been around longer than our great football rivalries. Then there's light lager. It's crisp and easy drinking. Golden Pilsner with a clean, refreshing taste, and the Black and Tan, a perfect blend of porter and Pilsner. Whether I'm tailgating, watching the game at a sports bar, just kicking back, I'm reaching for a Yuengling. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DJ Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
This is Coach Greg Gard. I've lived my whole life in Wisconsin, and I know what people here value: hard work, honesty, and looking out for one another. That's exactly how Bank CMG approaches banking. They combine hometown values with modern tools to help people make confident financial decisions. When you want a bank that understands where you're coming from, Bank CMG makes sense. Visit bankcmg.com or stop by your local branch. Let's get to work.
We have standards in Wisconsin. Cheese should squeak. Sports and tailgating go hand in hand with brats aplenty. And beef is a delicacy where each bite makes you close your eyes for a second. For 50 years, Bunzel's has been hand-selecting the finest beef, making homemade specialty sausages, and crafting award-winning jerky right here at home. Because Wisconsin is still cattle country, quality isn't optional. It's expected. And after 5 decades, Bunzel's still delivers. Stop in today at 90th and Burleigh or at bunzels.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. But you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. Couple more minutes with you ahead of the Homer Hour and ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night with myself and Homer tonight. Packers will have picks 52 and 84, at least as of now, in the second and third round of the 2026 NFL Draft. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Josh in Janesville. Jaden Reed signs a contract extension with the Green Bay Packers, 3 years, just a touch over $50 million. Your reaction is?
Very happy about it, but I think there's 3 dominoes that still need to fall. I agree with Tucker Kraft, just under $20 million. I agree with Christian Watson, but I think Devontae Wyatt, who is, I believe, is key to the whole defense. I think he needs to be the third domino that we need to re-sign.
How would you prioritize those,
Gutey
Josh?
some credit.
How would you prioritize those 1 to 3?
I don't think he heard you.
1 to 3. 1 to 3?
Yep.
I'd have to go Tucker Kraft 1, Devontae Wyatt 2, and then Christian Watson 3.
Well, before the Jaden Reed signing, would Devontae Wyatt still be would Christian Watson still be number 3, or would you have him at number 2 before you sign Jaden Reed to the extension?
Ooh, great question.
I like this guy.
Yeah, I'd probably keep the same order. I mean, I agree. I've been very impressed. I've been impressed with Jaden Reed, even when he beat the heck out of Wisconsin.
We're with you on that one.
Fan as well.
We're with you on that one. Thanks for the call, Josh. Appreciate you joining us here on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. Yeah, this is a big-time signing for Green Bay. We'll talk about it plenty and more throughout the night here on ESPN Wisconsin, but and into next week, because the wide receiver room makeover of sorts over the course of the last few months is really intriguing by Brian Gutekunst. Obviously, letting Romeo Doubs walk in free agency. You trade Dontavian Wicks to acquire an extra pick in this year's draft, then an extra pick in next year's draft a couple of weeks ago. And now you sign Jaden Reed to the extension. What does that mean for the remainder of the weekend? Do the Packers take a 6th or 7th round flyer on a wide receiver, or do they try to lock up Christian Watson? Then you have your 4 for the foreseeable future with Matthew Golden and Savion Williams chipped in there as well.
Now, here's an interesting thing, though. If the Packers didn't believe in Savion Williams and they signed Jaden Reed and they're making the decision saying, yep, Jaden Reed's our guy, Christian Watson, we're going to let you play the season out, then it becomes interesting if they draft a receiver in the second round, because now you know I locked up one guy, and if we're going to plan on moving on from Christian Watson, then now you draft another guy in the second round where you're getting a jump on it. I don't think it's still necessary. I still think they're going to be negotiating with Christian Watson, but now, I mean, it changes some things, because now it's like, hey, we got one of our guys for sure. I think they'll get Tucker Kraft again. And then maybe you draft a guy because you know you're going to move on from Christian Watson for sure.
But 90 seconds left, Kyle. What do you want to see tonight position-wise?
Yeah,
if they make 2 picks, what do you want to see?
The 2 picks I think the Packers go with here tonight is I think you stick to the defensive side of the football. Even though some people may be thinking, hey, get Jordan Love as much support as possible, I do believe the Green Bay Packers will be picking on the D-line and at the cornerback position. There's so much depth in this draft when you're talking about pass rushers, defensive tackles, but cornerback position in the second and third round. So I do believe when we come back when we come back tomorrow for your show, you'll be talking about how the Packers went defense.
Well, I'll be live tonight to react to it as well.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I'll be on the air when it happens, too, so plenty to react to all weekend.
I'm about to enjoy my weekend.
I can't wait to hear what Steve the Homer True has to say about Jaden Reed getting a contract extension before Tucker Kraft and Christian Watson. I don't think any of us saw him becoming the first guy of those three to get paid this offseason. Draft night for the Packers. Jaden Reed is extended. A whole lot more of where that came from on ESPN Wisconsin. The Homer Hour with Homer and Gary Ellerson is coming up next from 5 until 6. And then Homer has the esteemed privilege of hanging out with me all night long as we see what the Packers do at picks 52 and 84
Let's go!
in this year's NFL Draft.
Let's go, baby. Draft day, baby.
Enjoy
Draft
it.
Day.
Enjoy it.
I'm excited, baby. The future is now.
You realize how insignificant this is in the big picture of the Packers. Don't mean diddly.
We've got a crash on the bypass heading northbound. It's on the ramp from Oklahoma Avenue to northbound 894, so careful with that. Right now, the delays are pretty much non-existent on the northbound side. Southbound, though, we do have backups from Greenfield Avenue down to Lincoln, and then back on the brakes from Oklahoma down and around the Hale interchange to Forest Home. We had that other accident still up on the board. Technically, it's a car left over. Northbound 94, right at the ramp from Rawson Avenue off on the left shoulder. Folks are getting past it without much of a problem. We do have another incident, though, on 43 southbound right at the ramp from Wisconsin.